Thank you for your patronage, sir. Zuolin also finished his transaction with the vendor, obtaining what he desired. What is this? Jiang Shuling saw that Zuolin had purchased a strange object, a combination of metal and crystal, palm-sized, and appeared very smooth. A smartphone, one of the surprises I encountered on the ancient continent. It's a treasure that combines dexterity and fun. With it in hand, you can know everything happening under the heavens. Zuolin expertly unlocked the smartphone, illuminated the screen, logged into his account, and finally accessed a forum called Tianyuan. A series of boards appeared, such as De Li Jianghu, Romance, Treasure Black Market, and Casual Discussions. Urgent, urgent. Does anyone have 3 soul water? I'm willing to offer 50 pieces of mid-grade spirit stones to purchase it. Location Qingzhou. Beauty Zhang from the Desire Sect has released a new video. That figure, hiss. The portal is as follows. Great news, Qin Yushang, the White Tiger Hall Master of the Heavenly Patrol Department, has advanced to the Purple Mansion realm. Now, the 3 great beauties, eldest Princess Wei Yushuang of the Deli Royal Family, Palace Master Xian Baining of the Jotian Palace, and Qin Yushang of the Heavenly Patrol Department, are all in the Purple Mansion realm. It truly is a magnificent age. I would say, among the 3 great beauties, eldest Princess Wei Yushuang can be ranked at the top. Nonsense, Xian Baining of Jotian Palace has a beauty that could overthrow cities and kingdoms and has been famous for a long time. She should be the first among the 3 great beauties. I've seen Qin Yushang of the Heavenly Patrol Department, cold and uniquely beautiful. I think she deserves the top spot. The forum was filled with various information. Under Jiang Shuling's puzzled gaze, Zuolin merely swiped this small smartphone and could see all kinds of the latest information and captured photos on it. Such a marvel of invention. It's incredible that something so small could contain so much information. Jiang Shuling was astonished. He could sense a special fluctuation in the air transmitting in fixed frequencies, originating from the 33 heavens above. Perhaps that's the key to how this thing called a smartphone could be used. Haha, it's not just information. You can also browse various videos and even communicate with someone thousands of miles away. For our 100 Treasures Pavilion, which specializes in intelligence gathering and transactions, it's fantastic. I've decided to visit Ghost Ridge Palace soon to introduce these smartphones and bring them back to our Longyuan continent. Zuolin boasted as he opened an app on the phone, filled with various videos. However, Jiang Shuling was surprised that most of the content on Zuolin's phone involved beautiful, seductive women swaying their waists, with alluring eyes captivating the soul, showcasing their graceful dances. Ahem, this is what the smartphone recommends on its own. Nothing to do with me, it's not that I want to watch. Zuolin coughed twice, exited the phone interface with a straight face. Jiang Shuling gave Zuolin an odd look, feeling that Zuolin's elegance as a Purple Mansion great power had lowered by a few grades. Wait, you said this smartphone was created by Ghost Ridge Palace? Isn't that a demon sect? They could also create such ingenious inventions. Jiang Shuling caught a piece of information in Zuolin's words. He had heard the name Ghost Ridge Palace so many times upon entering the Deli dynasty that his ears had practically grown calluses. That's right, it was indeed manufactured by Ghost Ridge Palace. Initially, it was popular only in the southern prefectures. Later on, the Deli royal family enthroned the sect master of Ghost Ridge Palace as Prince Qing, and these smartphones began blooming everywhere in the Deli dynasty, becoming the most popular product nowadays. Zuolin seemed to have investigated quite a bit, speaking about these matters fluently. Jiang Shuling nodded thoughtfully and said, I heard the sect master of Ghost Ridge Palace is a mighty figure in the demon path, known as the Blood Demon Ancestor, with extremely formidable power? Zuolin smirked without speaking. Jiang Shuling understood Zuolin's meaning. He had dealt with Zuolin before, and this pavilion master of the 100 Treasures Pavilion, engaged in intelligence trading, was notoriously stingy. Is it enough? Tell me about this devil. Jiang Shuling tossed a storage bag from his bosom. Inside were many top-grade spirit stones. He came for the heavenly Tao fortune, and a local Purple Mansion strongman like Su Jie was a rival worth paying attention to. Sweeping his divine sense over the storage bag, Zuolin smiled. Mr. Jiang is too polite. We are old friends, naturally. I will speak without holding back. Under Jiang Shuling's disdainful gaze, Zuolin straightened his expression and spoke. The rumors are not false. Su Jie is a peerless genius of the demon path on the ancient continent. His cultivation has only spanned a few short decades, rising from a demon sect in the Qingzhou Southern Dali dynasty, going all the way up, defeating various righteous strongmen, obliterating countless sects, and advancing to the Purple Mansion middle stage realm. Not only does he have formidable combat power, but he also possesses a 1,000-handed centipede goo worm and a ghost bride with strength comparable to the Purple Mansion realm. With 3 Purple Mansions, it is a dominator-level force in the Dali dynasty. To give you an idea, the esoteric Buddhism that Su Jie decimated was one battle in which he slaughtered 3 Purple Mansion strongmen. Among them was a mature innate spiritual object sacred Bodhi tree, yet it still died at Su Jie's hands. Moreover, the Chui family of the renowned 3 sects and 5 families of the Dali dynasty, serving the heavenly derivation Holy Land, also fell to Su Jie. The opponent is erratic and domineering, difficult to get along with. As he spoke, Zuolin also took out a booklet with more detailed information concerning Su Jie and Ghost Ridge Palace. Jiang Shuling raised an eyebrow and asked, "A heavenly destiny person born on the ancient continent?" Today, the ancient continent is an era of great contention. As the largest and most powerful country on the ancient continent, the Dali dynasty is in its final years, naturally a time when heavenly destiny people appear in large numbers. People from exotic continents like them come to the ancient continent and have a direct competitive relationship with these local heavenly destiny people. Breaking through the cave void realm requires heavenly Dao fortune. With his Purple Mansion late-stage cultivation, to further advance, he needs adequate heavenly Dao fortune to glimpse the hope of advancing to the cave void realm. In the chaotic times of the ancient continent, anyone able to pacify the world, restore order, and governance will surely gain massive heavenly Dao fortune, receive heavenly Dao feedback, and thereby gain an opportunity for advancement to the cave void realm. His rise fits the pattern of a heavenly destiny person, turning the tables against fate with a mortal's frail body, now shaking the Dali dynasty, a classic model of a son of heavenly destiny. Zuolin smiled as he explained, although unbeknownst to him, Su Jie wasn't any heavenly destiny person. In Tianyuan world, he was rather the most disliked existence by the heavenly Dao. Just goes to show how conventional thinking could be deadly. Then he's an enemy. His strength is indeed considerable, with 3 Purple Mansions. However, the ancient continent has been isolated from the outside world for a long time. I doubt such a local heavenly destiny person is that formidable. Jiang Shuling spoke confidently. The ancient continent has been influenced by Emperor Tianwu, essentially a closed-off nation for thousands of years. Whereas they, from exotic continents, strongmen emerging from the Thousand Immortals Association, had been continually cultivated by the Holy Land, their cultivation techniques and foundations were more profound than those on the ancient continent. He believed that, at the same level, he would far surpass Su Jie, especially since Su Jie was only at the Purple Mansion middle stage, while he was a stage higher. The further one progresses in cultivation, the harder it becomes to battle across levels. Su Jie's achievements were indeed impressive, but he would not be intimidated. Did they really think Su Jie was like that otherworldly demoness from the 10,000 Tribulations Holy Land? In this battle of the heavenly destiny people, even with heroic talents as numerous as fish crossing the river, I, Jiang Shuling, shall not be outdone. Jiang Shuling's eyes were like swords, sharp and proud. As long as the Holy Land's holy sons and holy daughters did not get involved, he was confident that he was not inferior to anyone else. Ha ha! Then let me wish Mr. Jiang to rise as the victor in this age of contention, pacify this world's chaos, and claim supremacy. Zuolin laughed and praised. Every time the era of great contention arrived, countless heavenly destiny people would compete, much like nurturing poisonous insects, but only one would usually emerge at the end, and that person will likely become the next generation of Emperor Dongshu. He was here to do business, and the more intense the competition, the better it was for their 100 Treasures pavilion. Boy, bring up your best wine and dishes here. On the third floor of Xinghan Restaurant, a renowned establishment in Daili City, Jiang Shuling and Zhuo Lin ascended together. This place has quite a few experts. Jiang Shuling exclaimed softly, noticing that many seated in this restaurant did not hide their powerful aura. Zhuo Lin chuckled slightly and explained, "Young Master Jiang, this Xinghan restaurant serves as our 100 Treasures Pavilion's outpost in the Daili dynasty. Our 100 Treasures Pavilion deals in intelligence trade. So many cultivators from the exotic continent and even the ancient continent come here to gather intelligence, which naturally attracts a crowd." Jiang Shuling nodded slightly. He was with Zhuo Lin precisely because of the 100 Treasures Pavilion's outstanding intelligence. For cultivators like them from the exotic continent, entering unfamiliar territories without intelligence was like stumbling in the dark. The 100 Treasures Pavilion could be said to have the most advanced intelligence network besides the 5 Great Holy Lands. Their business and intelligence network spans several continents, with a unique method of gathering information. Master Zhuo, I'd like to buy a piece of important intelligence from you. Master Zhuo, we at Divine Sword Hall have just arrived and hope for your assistance. People seated there greeted Zhuo Lin one after another, showing his status in this place. Master Zhuo, our Divine Eagle Empire has long heard of the 100 Treasures Pavilion's name. We'd like to have a conversation with you. In the crowd, a tall, bald man with tattoos wearing fur stepped forward. So it is you, Mr. Wu Liqi. No problem, we can talk in detail later. Upon seeing the bald man, Zhuo Lin's face broke into a smile, knowing a big deal was coming. Since this bald man was not only a Purple Mansion strongman from the Divine Eagle Empire, but also responsible for their foreign affairs department, specialized in external diplomacy. Currently, the Daili dynasty and the Divine Eagle Empire were in a fragile state of peace. After losing a battle 3 years ago, the Daili dynasty had to pay a significant compensation, and the two countries signed a ceasefire agreement. The Daili dynasty dared not provoke or anger the Divine Eagle Empire, which was why Wu Liqi felt confident appearing here. Can't we do it now? Wu Liqi seemed quite anxious, eager to proceed. Sorry, I still have friends here. Zhuo Lin gestured towards Jiang Shuling, indicating helplessness. Wu Liqi glanced at Jiang Shuling and threw a storage bag onto the table. Brother, do me a favor and go somewhere else for now. Jiang Shuling paused momentarily, then revealed a mocking expression. It had been a long time since someone dared to speak to him this way. Did they really think he lacked a few spirit stones? And what if I refuse? Jiang Shuling's sidelong glance upward, not giving any face at all. Wu Liqi's face flinched, but seeing Zhuo Lin nearby and knowing the place belonged to him, he felt uncomfortable making a move, eventually glaring at Jiang Shuling before turning back to his seat. Jiang Shuling smirked disdainfully, saying, "Such ignorance. Cultivators from the ancient continent are too discourteous. Please calm down, young Master Jiang." Zhuo Lin laughed awkwardly, as both men were his clients. It was hard to favor one. Jiang Shuling glanced at Wu Liqi's side, considering that this was the 100 Treasures Pavilion's outpost. He intended to settle the matter later to give some respect. Even such fellows can infiltrate Daili City. It seems the Daili dynasty won't last long. Jiang Shuling withdrew his gaze. Although he couldn't foresee the course of stars and national fortune, the fact that even in the capital, the Daili dynasty couldn't expel these exotic realm individuals, allowing even enemy forces like Wu Liqi to appear, was telling of how the Daili dynasty had become weak externally, lacking sufficient deterrence. In other powerful imperial capitals across continents, Taoist Platform Realm and Purple Mansion cultivators intending entry would be closely monitored or expelled. Because cultivators of this caliber were extremely dangerous, akin to walking nuclear bombs. An external force wielding nuclear bombs roaming freely in one's national capital. It's inconceivable. To the north is the Divine Eagle Empire, the south houses the Ghost Ridge Palace, and within the Daili dynasty, there are several rebel factions. Young Master Jiang might as well find one to support. I can recommend one or two. Zhuo Lin spoke boldly, ignoring how his words openly supported rebellion against the Daili dynasty. The price must be considerable. Hearing this, Jiang Shuling understood Zhuo Lin's intentions. However, as Zhuo Lin mentioned, in such a chaotic era, gaining enough heavenly Dao fortune by controlling an army and joining the fray was the most convenient choice. Zhuo Lin chuckled. No. Our 100 Treasures Pavilion also serves powerful cultivators like young Master Jiang. Just a bit of spirit stone leaking between your fingers would be sufficient. This decaying dynasty is soon to fall. The opportunity to acquire heavenly Dao fortune is rare, young Master Jiang. You. However, before Zhuo Lin could finish his words, a cold, frost-like voice suddenly pierced from the staircase. Who said the Dali dynasty is about to fall? This voice swept the room like the chill from the ninth sky, spreading an amazing killing intent. Among the many exotic realm strongmen seated in Xinghan restaurant, many were only at the Taoist platform realm, their bodies trembling involuntarily. Zhuo Lin and Jiang Shuling's conversation was interrupted. As they looked towards the source of the voice, they saw two women ascending the restaurant at once, one tall and slender, with long black hair subtly tied behind her head with a golden silk band, wearing golden battle armor. Despite this, her elegant and proud figure was not concealed, and her sword-like brows were sharp and fierce, making her appear valiant and spirited. Another woman is dressed in purple silk, her skin as white as jade, and her eyes gleam with a cold mist, exuding a graceful and chilly presence. Eldest princess of the Deli dynasty, Princess Wei, and White Tiger Hall Master Qin Yushang of the Heavenly Patrol Department. I never expected both of you to honor our small 100 Treasures Pavilion with your presence. It's truly a shining moment for us. Zhuo Lin's smile slightly stiffens upon seeing these two women, both representing the official powers of the Dali dynasty. He had just been openly discussing how to overthrow the Dali dynasty, and now being caught in the act is somewhat awkward. Jiang Shuling watched the two with great interest. He could see their cultivation level, early-stage Purple Mansion. To achieve the Purple Mansion at their age, to call them prodigies would not be an exaggeration. Master Zhuo, do you even understand the meaning of propriety, righteousness, integrity, and shame? Wei Yushuang looked displeased. As a princess of the Dali royal family, hearing Zhuo Lin speak like this would upset anyone. Apologies, Princess Wei. It was a slip of the tongue. I came to the Dali dynasty simply to do business, not to meddle in turmoil. Just pretend I don't exist. Zhuo Lin repeatedly clasped his hands in apology, showing no hint of a strong man's demeanor, as he is more of a businessman than a fighter. Wei Yushuang withdrew her gaze, while Qin Yushang had already walked towards Wu Liqi. They were here not for Zhuo Lin, but for Wu Liqi. Ladies, our two countries are currently in a ceasefire. Are you trying to reignite the war? Wu Liqi stared cautiously. He too was at early-stage Purple Mansion cultivation, and was certainly not a match for Qin Yushang and Wei Yushuang. The Dali dynasty does not welcome you. Do you think your deeds can deceive everyone? Wei Yushuang stood before Wu Liqi, her hand on the hilt of her sword, exuding an overwhelmingly powerful aura, her eyes terrifyingly cold. Wu Liqi, how dare you investigate the sacred grounds of the Dragon Vein? Our Heavenly Patrol Department has long been watching you. Qin Yushang also unleashed the aura of a Purple Mansion strongman, pressing down like a mountain. Wu Liqi's face was pale. Against the newly risen Purple Mansion powerhouses Qin Yushang and Wei Yushuang, he was completely helpless. Return to your grassland, or don't blame me for slicing you down right here. Wei Yushuang snorted coldly, almost wishing to strike Wu Liqi down immediately. However, every official in court opposed this, including her father, who did not support stirring up trouble with the Divine Eagle Empire now, especially at the critical moment when cultivators from the outer continent were entering. The Dali dynasty could not afford more disturbances. You will regret this. Wu Liqi realized his plan had been exposed. He had ventured to the Dragon Veins sacred grounds of the Dali dynasty the night before but failed to find a chance to break into the formation. The Dali royal family cultivated using the dragon-suppressing Heavenly Net Divine Scripture, a national treasure, leveraging the Dragon Vein and the Imperial Dynasty fortune. Damaging the Dragon Vein in Dali City could indirectly affect many aspects of the Dali royal family. not daring to stay longer, fearing the two women would lose restraint and strike. He got up and left, flying out of the third-floor window. "Hey, you barbarian!" Just as Wu Liqi flew out the window, a shout full of insult came from behind. Turning around, he saw a sword light flash by, too quick for any reaction. His left shoulder ached, and an arm fell, blood gushing from the severed point. Jiang Shuling had simply extended his index finger, using it as a sword to slice in the air, and the terrifying sword chi instantly severed Wu Liqi's arm. The atmosphere from the strike, belonging to a late-stage Purple Mansion powerhouse, was overwhelmingly present. Everyone present except Zuolin visibly changed color. Wei Yushuang's expression turned solemn, realizing now that the strongest person here was that refined Jiang Shuling. Late-stage Purple Mansion. Qin Yushang gave Jiang Shuling a long look. Such an aura she had only felt before from Heavenly Patrol Department Director Zhang Qingsong. Sword cultivators are claimed to be the best at offense among cultivators, and a late-stage Purple Mansion sword cultivator is terrifyingly powerful in battle. Get lost, and next time watch where your eyes are looking. Jiang Shuling waved his hand casually, as if he had done something trivial. He had just sliced off the arm of a Purple Mansion-level Wu Liqi. "Thank you, Senior, for sparing my life." Yet, facing Jiang Shuling's mockery, Wu Liqi did not dare to retaliate verbally. Instead, he turned around and fled in disgrace, not daring to utter any harsh words. "This doesn't break the rules, right? I waited till he left the restaurant to act, without dirtying your floor." Jiang Shuling turned his head at this point, smiling at Zuolin nearby. "Of course it doesn't count, but you seem to have some more trouble on your hands?" Zuolin nodded first, his gaze fixed in one direction. Jiang Shuling followed his gaze, seeing through the street thronged with panicking citizens due to his actions. Two women walking over. One wore a yellow lotus silk shirt, with delicately distinguished features. A mischievous girl look about her, eating skewer after skewer. The other wore a plain Qinghua porcelain-colored long skirt, with clear skin like snow, her black hair cascading like a waterfall, exuding an aloof and pristine aura. The two looked quite similar, yet they had completely different qualities. One was lively and charming like a radiant sunflower. The other was solitary and cold, like a quiet spring orchid. "It's them." Upon seeing these similarly looking twin sisters, Qin Yushang's eyes narrowed. The younger sister, named Ning Xinyue, wasn't much of a concern. However, the elder sister, Ning Yunying, had suppressed all prodigies in Dali City, with none able to withstand even a single move from her. Ning Yunying. Wei Yushuang, needless to say, always regarded Ning Yunying as the rival of her life. The only time she tasted defeat was at the hands of Ning Yunying. Jiang Shuling's body suddenly trembled. At the moment he saw Ning Yunying, the memories of the dead began to wildly assault his brain, nearly causing his heart to stop. Ning Yunying raised her head and met Jiang Shuling's gaze from the third floor, speaking, "It's quite lively here. Isn't this little Jiangzi? Long time no see." Before she finished speaking, she had already appeared before Jiang Shuling, patting his shoulder with a familiar demeanor. "Don't come any closer." Jiang Shuling was so frightened he nearly turned to run, his face bitter with the appearance of the last woman he wanted to see. "Ning, Miss Ning, long time no see. You're here too." A stiff smile hung on his face, and Jiang Shuling struggled to speak smoothly. The cultivators in the tavern were bewildered because, judging from Ning Yunying's aura, she merely seemed to be a seventh realm of Taoist platform cultivator. It's not that such a level wasn't strong. It depended on who it was compared to. Just moments ago, Jiang Shuling had displayed immense power, directly severing Wu Liqi's arm, a Purple Mansion strongman, and yet someone called him Little Jiangzi, leaving him with a look of anger that he dared not express. Even Wei Yushuang, who considered herself somewhat knowledgeable about Ning Yunying, the eldest princess, was thoroughly bewildered by the scene. "Saint, Miss Ning, please have a seat quickly." Zuolin promptly stood up to serve Ning Yunying tea and water, fawning excessively. Others might not have understood Ning Yunying's situation, But as the pavilion master of the 100 Treasures Pavilion, Zhuo Lin knew all too well the background of Ning Yunying. This woman was the contemporary holy daughter of the 10,000 Tribulations Holy Land, the most dazzling and outstanding talent among the 5 great holy lands, overshadowing the holy sons and daughters of the other 4 holy lands. Never mind that Ning Yunying appeared to possess only 7th realm of Taoist platform cultivation. She practiced the 10,000 Tribulations Nirvana technique, reputed as the foremost cultivation technique of the Tianyuan world and the namesake of the 10,000 Tribulations Holy Land. Among those who had practiced this technique throughout history, even 10,000 years often saw not a single example. Little Jiangzi, are you here seeking the Tao as well? Your strength still falls short. Ning Yunying sat in the chair, pinpointing Jiang Shuling's intentions. Yes, I feel my chance has arrived. Jiang Shuling replied awkwardly. If anyone else said this, a burst of sword chi would have been directed at them long ago. Few people in this world had the qualifications to question him, yet it was Ning Yunying who spoke these words, leaving him without a trace of retort. Outsiders might see Ning Yunying as merely Taoist platform realm, but those like Jiang Shuling, who had been fiercely tormented by her, knew all too well how terrifying this woman was. The cultivation of the 10,000 Tribulations Holy Land has always emphasized ascending through trials, requiring one's self-improvement through numerous hardships to ultimately achieve greater heights, a fundamental tenet of the Holy Land's cultivation ideology. The terrifying aspect of the 10,000 Tribulations Nirvana technique lies in its greatest manifestation of this ideology. Those who cultivate this technique frequently must self-sever their cultivation realm. For instance, when breaking through from the Yunling realm to the secret realm, cultivating the 10,000 Tribulations Nirvana technique mandates that one must actively self-sever their cultivation, obliterate one's own 5 internal organs gods, allowing their cultivation to fall back to the Yunling realm, then retrain to ascend again to the secret realm, and repeat the cycle endlessly. Every rebirth from nirvana leads to a more solid foundation, accumulating the cultivation of the previous stage. It's like withered trees meeting spring. The newly grown branches will be more vigorous and potent, akin to how even ordinary people strengthen their bodies, where muscle fibers only become stronger after repeatedly tearing and healing. Such is the envisaged theory brought forth by the 10,000 Tribulations Nirvana technique, where cultivation is akin to enduring tribulations. Ning Xinyue was bored, eating skewers on the street. She had no intention of going to a restaurant, nor did she want to deal with those people. Been there so long, what's there to talk about? While eating, Ning Xinyue grumbled softly. Little girl, can you give me one of your skewers? Suddenly, a voice came from behind Ning Xinyue, full of teasing. Ning Xinyue turned her head and saw an exceedingly ordinary-looking man standing there, dressed in black brocade clothing, with a mysterious aura. Despite his plain appearance, he was hard to ignore. Who are you? Do I know you? Ning Xinyue rolled her eyes and instinctively protected the skewer in her hand. Still the little gluttonous girl. The man smiled slightly. He was none other than Su Jie, who had just returned to the Tianyuan world and arrived in Dili City. Now, with many exotic continent cultivators gathered in Dili City, Ghost Ridge Palace naturally had its own intelligence network. Su Jie came here for the same reason as those exotic realm cultivators, all for the heavenly Tao fortune. Originally, Su Jie wanted to directly find Zhuo Lin, the information vendor, to obtain more detailed intelligence. Unexpectedly, just as he reached downstairs, he witnessed this scene and encountered an old acquaintance. What little gluttonous girl? Who exactly are you? Stop pretending all mysterious, or I'll beat you up. Ning Xinyue puffed her cheeks and waved her fists at Su Jie, clearly dissatisfied. With your strength, you're still far from being able to hit me. Su Jie chuckled, sizing up Ning Xinyue. Ning Xinyue blushed under Su Jie's dismissive gaze, her chest puffing with anger. She swung her pink fists with a fierce expression. I'm really getting mad now. I am a Taoist platform realm powerhouse, unbeatable among my level. Do you know how fearsome a cultivator of this level is? I can knock you out with just one finger. Taoist platform realm is decent, but it's still far from becoming immortal. Su Jie reached out, and before Ning Xinyue could see his movement, the skewers she held were suddenly in his hand. They taste not bad. Su Jie nodded in satisfaction, completely ignoring Ning Xinyue's presence. Ning Xinyue, instinctively stepping back a few paces, Ning Xinyue looked at Su Jie with suspicion and uncertainty. With her 7th realm of Taoist platform cultivation, she hadn't even seen Su Jie's move clearly. It was obvious what this meant. Purple Mansion Realm. Ning Xinyue observed, her bright eyes rolling as if trying to recall when she might have offended a Purple Mansion Realm expert. But no matter how she thought about it, she couldn't figure it out. This level of expert was usually someone her elder sister dealt with. She rarely came into contact with them, let alone offended them. Unless it was someone her elder sister offended and came seeking revenge. Thinking of this, Ning Xinyue snorted and said, "What do you want? Believe it or not, I'll call my big sister down here." She bared her little tiger teeth, pretending to be tough, indicating that if Su Jie caused trouble, she would call for backup immediately. "Haha, you're so stingy about a skewer. Back in the day at my house, you got free meals without me minding." Su Jie finished eating the skewer in his hand, flicked his finger, and gave her a playful flick on the forehead. "Ow! Sis, someone is bullying me." Ning Xinyue covered her forehead with tearful eyes, feeling her forehead turning red. She gritted her teeth in anger. Su Jie's gaze lifted, meeting the eyes of Ning Yunying at the window of the restaurant. Staring at Ning Yunying's cold, stunningly similar face to Ning Xinyue, Su Jie felt a strange sense in his heart. The woman, though appearing to have only Taoist platform cultivation, gave Su Jie a subtle sense of alertness in his heart. Their strength was definitely not merely Taoist platform simplicity. Early on, during the first meeting with this woman named Ning Yunying, she had unfathomable strength, and after so much time had passed, it was impossible that her cultivation stayed put. Moreover, in theory, Su Jie's Taishu Heavenly Destiny technique allowed him to see the heavenly Tao fortune of others. Yet before this woman, Su Jie was unable to detect the flickering fortune over her head. Meanwhile, others in the restaurant were completely exposed in Su Jie's eyes. This offered two possibilities. Either she had a method for concealing her heavenly Tao fortune, or her strength was extraordinarily formidable enough to affect others' observation. Like Su Jie, it would be hard for others to grasp Su Jie's heavenly Tao fortune unless observed by a cave void realm cultivator. Meeting again. This should be our second encounter, correct? Ning Yunying did not make a move on Su Jie. Her cold eyes locked onto Su Jie, her gaze thoughtful, as if perceiving something. Whoosh! In the next moment, Su Jie stepped forward and appeared inside the restaurant. "I thought I hid it pretty well." Su Jie smiled, acknowledging that Ning Yunying's remark meant his identity was exposed. "As an elder sister, my perception is indeed better than my younger sister's." Ning Yunying's eyes shifted, seemingly contemplating Su Jie's true intentions. Others were shocked, looking at the unassuming man, surprised that he knew someone like Ning Yunying. Another exotic realm cultivator, Wei Yushuang thought to herself, assuming Su Jie likely came from the exotic continent. 2. On the other side, Qin Yushang found the situation curious, somehow finding the man before her evoking an inexplicable familiarity. Su Jie didn't say much more but sought out Zhuo Lin. "You are Zhuo Lin, the pavilion master of 100 Treasures Pavilion. I heard you are renowned for intelligence. I have some matters to discuss. Let's go. You should have a dedicated chamber for conversations." Su Jie appeared familiar, placing his left hand on Zhuo Lin's shoulder, but his tone was not up for negotiation. "Everything has an order. Master's was business with me isn't finished yet. You're overstepping." Jiang Shuling's face showed anger. First there was Wu Liqi, and now another inexplicable person arrives. Do none of these people take him seriously? Do the cultivators of ancient continent not understand the concept of queuing? Wait patiently. Su Jie just glanced at the other party, making a joke. He is a demon cultivator. Would it still be called being a demon cultivator if he followed the rules? Jiang Shuling's mouth twitched, feeling underestimated once more. The series of encounters had worsened his already poor mood from meeting Ning Yunying. But looking at Ning Yunying beside him, he strongly restrained himself from acting immediately. After all, Ning Yunying knew this man, and it would be terrible if Ning Yunying became unhappy. Still standing there? Let's go. Su Jie pressed on Zuolin's shoulder, leading him with an almost commanding tone. Zuolin initially intended to refuse. He was at least a Purple Mansion cultivator. Did he have no dignity left that anyone could order him around? But with just a little force from Su Jie, Zuolin felt an overwhelming force press down on his shoulder, and a power constrained his body, even causing his blood to run uncontrollably back and forth in his veins, as if it had a will of its own. This guy! Zuolin was incredibly shocked. Although he wasn't skilled in combat, his cultivation as a Purple Mansion cultivator was undeniable. Yet before this man, he was suppressed without any resistance. His face turned slightly pale, and he was extremely astonished. Here, this way please, fellow Taoist. Knowing how to adapt to circumstances, after feeling Su Jie's powerful strength, he wisely stopped struggling and proactively led Su Jie upstairs, taking out an array plate to activate a formation to block external prying. Su Jie casually pulled over a chair and sat down, crossing his legs, gesturing for Zuolin to relax and sit down. All right, let's sit and talk. No need to be nervous. Zuolin secretly grumbled in his heart, feeling as if Su Jie was the master here. He pondered over Su Jie's exact identity. Such a terrifying ability to control blood, which even he, a Purple Mansion cultivator, could not resist. There weren't many of such cultivators, and those known for blood control were even rarer. Suddenly, Zuolin looked at Su Jie as if he had been electrified. Ghost Ridge Palace? Blood Demon Ancestor Su Jie. Zuolin guessed Su Jie's identity. It turned out to be the person he intended to connect with for business partnerships, and they met under such circumstances, with Su Jie's strength even more terrifying than his intelligence suggested. As expected of the Pavilion Master of 100 Treasures Pavilion, quick to deduce my identity. I have some questions for you, so tell me everything you know about the exotic continent. Su Jie chuckled and wasn't surprised. Besides, he hadn't gone out of his way to hide his identity. Sure, no problem. Zuolin's mind settled slightly. The appearance of Su Jie, a local heavenly destiny person, was unexpected. But business is business. He's not picky about customers. First, tell me about the situation of these exotic realm cultivators in Li City. Su Jie approached Zuolin for external intelligence, as he was in the dark about the exotic continent situation. So an information dealer like Zuolin caught his attention. Well, Zuolin rubbed his hands, looking at Su Jie. Su Sect Master. The cost is 5 million spirit stones. This is the rule of our 100 Treasures Pavilion. Su Jie laughed and said, Master Zua, I'm a demon cultivator. I always get things for free. Do you understand? Let me tell you, here my rules are the rules. What kind of standard dares to charge him? Su Jie may have wealth but wouldn't spend it recklessly. Su Sect Master, please don't joke. Our 100 Treasures Pavilion doesn't have a precedent of giving intelligence for free. Please respect our boundaries. Zuolin's expression stiffened, thinking that Su Jie, who resorted to forceful buying and selling, must not be taking their 100 Treasures Pavilion lightly. However, before Zuolin could speak, an imposing aura like mountains and seas bore down on him. His heart thumped like a drum, his primordial spirit trembled, and his body's bones creaked as if they might break under this pressure. With a pale face, Zuolin looked at Su Jie, who sat calmly across, not like looking at a human, but an overwhelming beast, with an ominous premonition of imminent death creeping into his heart. He felt that if he didn't speak, the outcome might be becoming a corpse. I'll tell everything I know. Please retract your divine skills, Su Sect Master. Sweating profusely on his forehead, Zuolin dared not be stubborn anymore. His boundaries became very flexible at this moment. For well-known reasons, the Dali dynasty is now on the brink of collapse, coinciding with the millennial upheaval of the ancient continent. To compete for heavenly Dao fortune, exotic continent cultivators come here to seize opportunities. Often, those who reach the end will renew the sun and moon, create a new dynasty, and the Atop cultivator will receive abundant heavenly Tao fortune, favored by the heavens, eventually becoming an Emperor Dongshu. In order to break through to Hollow, that's why everyone swarms to the ancient continent. Su Jie raised an eyebrow and said, "Why don't these people stay in their own continent? Is there no heavenly Tao fortune there?" Zuolin explained, "Of course there is, but currently, each of the other 6 continents has an Emperor Dongshu presiding over it. Any who attempt to seize heavenly Tao fortune and ascend to emperor status will be ruthlessly suppressed. There's no path for them on their continent. They would either wait through time or seek opportunities on other continents without a presiding Emperor Dongshu to gain heavenly Tao fortune." Su Jie understood Zuolin's meaning. The breakthrough to the Cave Void Realm is typically achieved by establishing a nation and proclaiming oneself emperor, which is why the Cave Void Realm is also referred to as Great Emperor. Just like Emperor Tianwu, who pacified the chaotic world and founded the Deli dynasty, acquiring a vast amount of heavenly Tao fortune. If a continent already has someone who has become a great emperor, for later arrivals looking to obtain heavenly Tao fortune, the best method is to choose to overthrow the great emperor's dynasty and seize the heavenly Tao fortune. But everyone knows the principle that a mountain cannot accommodate 2 tigers. How could the great emperor who first founded a nation possibly allow other Purple Mansion cultivators to challenge his position? Most likely, these Purple Mansion cultivators from the exotic continent are living in fear, for if they slightly step out of line to steal heavenly Tao fortune, they can easily be targeted by the great emperor. Seeing Su Jie not speak, Zuolin continued, "Actually, everyone wanted to come before, but here were Emperor Tianwu's prohibitions and the Tao treasure 10,000 Dragon Pearl. Due to this restriction, people from outside the realm, if detected, would be killed by this Tao treasure. It wasn't until recently when the dragon veins of the Deli dynasty declined to the extreme, and the 10,000 Dragon Pearl lost its spirituality, that we, the people from outside the realm, could enter on a large scale." Zuolin didn't dare to hide anything, and relayed the information he knew fully. This was considered an open secret for people from outside the realm, but the local cultivators of the ancient continent mostly were unaware of the underlying secrets. 10,000 Dragon Pearl, Tao treasure. Su Jie's eyes brightened. A Tao treasure is an exclusive divine weapon for the Cave Void Realm, far more powerful than a spiritual treasure, even surpassing a mature innate spiritual plant. A Tao treasure can suppress the void and unleash immense power in the Tao River, even enabling the battle against Tao chaos creatures. Whereas a spiritual treasure, no matter how strong, becomes nearly useless once it enters the Tao River. The term Tao treasure refers to a Taoist weapon, with terrifying power beyond the imagination of the secular world. Zuolin nodded continuously. Yes, Emperor Tianwu was too powerful. During his lifetime, he fought mature Tao chaos creatures, once killed 3 Cave Void Emperors in a single battle, which pressured the 9 Heavens Holy Land to dare not enter the ancient continent, and the 10,000 Spirits Pearl he left after death guarded the ancient continent for thousands of years, preventing even Cave Void Emperors from daring to confront its edge. Why didn't Emperor Tianwu allow the Holy Lands to enter the ancient continent? Su Jie stroked his chin. It was interesting that Emperor Tianwu was from the 9 Heavens Holy Land and ended up in enmity. I'm not sure. These are obscure secrets of the past. I only know that almost all Cave Void Emperors accept dispatches from the Thousand Immortals Association. Every 10,000 years, the Cave Void Emperor guarding the continent will go to the Holy Land, and the continent left behind would enter a new era of great contention, until a new emperor emerges. What is the situation with the Thousand Immortals Association? It is the largest organization in the Tianyuan world, encompassing innumerable forces, sects, and aristocratic families across various continents, including the Cave Void Emperor's royal families, but the actual decisions on the direction of the Thousand Immortals Association are made only by the 5 Great Holy Lands: Heavenly Derivation Holy Land, Yang Palace Holy Land, 9 Heavens Holy Land, 10,000 Tribulations Holy Land, Divine Mechanism Holy Land. Other forces can only propose suggestions without decision-making power. Oh, the 5 major bullies, I get it. Su Jie nodded understandingly. With Zuolin's explanation, he comprehended that the Thousand Immortals Association was like the United Nations Security Council on Blue Star, with real decisions made by the 5 major bullies. Zhuo Lin found Su Jie's direct reference to the Holy Lands as bullies somewhat abrupt, but didn't dare to say more, continuing to cooperate with Su Jie's inquiries. Thus, in this exchange, Su Jie's understanding of the realm beyond the ancient continent deepened constantly. Zhuo Lin also handed over a manual, recording in detail the current exotic realm Purple Mansion strongman who entered the ancient continent. This information is insignificant for ordinary people and little cultivators, but for Purple Mansion strongmen like Su Jie, determined to aspire to the pinnacle of the world, it is crucial intelligence. At least when facing an enemy, he wouldn't be clueless about who the enemy even is. Half an hour later, Su Jie and Zhuo Lin came down from the upstairs. Qin Yushang and Wei Yushuang had already left the tavern. Only the Ning family sisters and Jiang Shuling were still here. "Sir, take care." Zhuo Lin wore a smile on his face. Despite being taken advantage of by Su Jie, he dared not protest. For sending away this troublemaker as soon as possible was more important than anything. "All right, come to me if you need anything in the future." Su Jie smilingly patted Zhuo Lin's shoulder, causing Zhuo Lin's smile to freeze, wondering if Su Jie intended to continue exploiting him. "Sis, it's him who bullied me." Ning Xinyue pointed at Su Jie, puffing her cheeks in defiance, and complained to Ning Yunying. Su Jie glanced at Ning Xinyue, provoking Ning Xinyue to stare back. Su Jie chuckled and turned to the window, flying out into the air. "Hey, you youngster!" But barely had Su Jie flown out the window, Jiang Shuling couldn't hold back. He slowly stood up, using his hand as a sword, and chopped down towards Su Jie. The spiritual power was highly compressed and transformed into a pure white sword qi, sharp and intense, with the sword light soaring into the sky, compressing the void into cracks, directly aiming at Su Jie's left arm. This move of sword qi had previously severed the arm of Wu Liqui from the Divine Eagle Empire, a Purple Mansion early-stage expert. However, using the same move on Su Jie led to a different outcome. Su Jie turned his head, raising his left arm instantly. As the sword qi approached, he calmly clamped it with 2 fingers. The heaven-reaching sword qi, which should have been intangible, was firmly held by Su Jie, unable to advance even half an inch despite its sharpness. "Next time, keep your eyes sharp." Jiang Shuling hadn't finished speaking when he saw the scene of the sword qi being caught, causing his speech to halt abruptly. He stared at Su Jie in bewilderment, all his mocking words stuck in his throat. What a joke! Jiang Shuling couldn't believe it. As the top sword cultivator in offense and a Purple Mansion late-stage expert, no one of his level could dare say they could catch his sword qi with 2 fingers. Yet, this scene was happening before his very eyes. "Your sword qi needs more refining, young friend." Su Jie curled his lip into a grin, clenched his hand into a fist, and the sword qi instantly disintegrated. Boom! Su Jie punched out with his left hand, the terrifying divine power like a mountain collapsing and a tsunami. Jiang Shuling felt a mountain crushing him, an unmatched force sweeping through his limbs and body, breaking ribs in his chest, displacing organs, forcing out a mouthful of blood, and laying him flat in a big character shape on the ground. Zhuo Lin's eyelids twitched wildly. Though he knew Su Jie's combat prowess was terrifying, witnessing the fight made him realize he still underestimated Su Jie's strength. This combat prowess was more than terrifying. Jiang Shuling wasn't just anybody. As a Purple Mansion late-stage sword cultivator, he was well known on Shuan continent, yet couldn't withstand even one punch from Su Jie. The gap was simply too vast. So strong. Ning Xinyue's small mouth formed an O shape, quickly hiding behind her sister, peeking out at Su Jie. This guy who troubled her was surprisingly so powerful. Ning Yunying waved her hand, turning Su Jie's violent fist whined into a gentle breeze as she turned around. "This punch is my return gift. Say thank you." Su Jie stood on the window ledge, looking down at the prostrate Jiang Shuling, his words filled with a teasing tone. Jiang Shuling's face turned green and red. As a sword cultivator, he was always proud. Yet now he was being humiliated like this. It's as if his face was being rubbed into the ground. Seeing Jiang Shuling silent, Su Jie raised his fist again. They. Thank you, thank you. Jiang Shuling jumped in fright, feeling that another punch might cost him his life. Good boy, he'd advise. Go practice more swordsmanship. Su Jie was very pleased with Jiang Shuling's response and now had a more concrete understanding of his current strength. His innate divine body was too powerful, capable of traversing the 33 heavens, a forbidden zone for Purple Mansion cultivators, without the holy Bodhi tree or blood sea devouring sky demon skill, solely relying on the tremendously strong divine body that could withstand spiritual treasures. Finding rivals among his level was nearly impossible. Jiang Shuling's face was grim, feeling his Dao heart shattered once again. Recalling the last time he experienced such was when he encountered Ning Yunying. Su Jie withdrew his gaze, glanced at the peeking Ning Xinyue, and lightly laughed. Maid Ning, work hard on your cultivation. Strive to break through to the Purple Mansion realm early. After saying that, Su Jie turned and stepped away, disappearing without a trace. Ning Xinyue, upon hearing this sentence, stood dumbfounded, her bright, cute eyes wide open. From a young age, only one person referred to her this way. Past encounters flashed through her mind. First meeting on the slave trading ship, collaborating to search for the 9-grade sacred lotus, joining forces in the sect war to kill the Jade Sun true body Du Xiaochang. Ah! It's that scoundrel demon cultivator. Ning Xinyue hurried to the window but could no longer see Su Jie's figure. Pissed off enough to want to bite something. He showed up briefly then disappeared. Didn't he know how much she missed him? If not for her sister holding her back all these years, she would have long gone to find Su Jie to play. You just recognized him now. Ning Yunying, seeing her sister's anxious and regretful look, couldn't help but tease her. Sis, you already knew his identity, didn't you? Why didn't you tell me? Ning Xinyue turned to face her sister, full of regret. I'm so dumb. Really, the one bullying me should have been him. I should have realized it long ago. I'm not familiar with him. He didn't come to find me. You didn't recognize him and blame me? Ning Yunying pinched her sister's cheek, said, since he came to Dali City, he likely won't leave shortly. Plenty of chances to meet. Indeed, next time we meet, I will surely bite him, humph, daring to play tricks on me. Ning Xinyue stood with her hands on her hips, speaking angrily, but her mind kept wandering. On the other side, Jiang Shuling had already climbed up from the ground. He looked at Zhuo Lin, his face somewhat embarrassed, but he still asked, Master Zhuo, who exactly is this person? Ghost Ridge Palace? Blood Demon Ancestor, Su Jie. Zhuo Lin's eyes were complicated as he spoke this name. What, it's him. Jiang Shuling's mind was shaken tremendously. He was not unfamiliar with this name. Heavenly Destiny people from the ancient continent. Upon entering the Dali dynasty, he often heard stories of this great figure from the demon path. But in his heart, Jiang Shuling somewhat looked down upon Su Jie, a Purple Mansion cultivator from the ancient continent. Yet now it seems the person truly ignorant of greater powers was himself. Perhaps I really shouldn't have come here, Jiang Shuling murmured to himself, the confidence of being struck by Su Jie's punch completely obliterated. At this moment, he suddenly felt a bit homesick. In the south of Dali City, inside a luxurious mansion courtyard, a dozen men and women were here discussing over tea. Among them, 3 had the strongest and most imposing demeanor. A man dressed in black as night, holding a long saber, had an air of disdain toward all with a cruel demeanor. A middle-aged man dressed in a red robe, the hem of which moved without wind, a faint blood-red dragon shadow reflected behind him. A woman dressed in a white robe, with an exquisite body sculpted by ice and snow, possessing noble and elegant beauty. These 3 were the renowned sect masters of the 3 sects and 5 families of the Dali dynasty. Yin Yang sect master Su Jinling, Purple Cloud Pavilion master Jiao Longheng, Jiuqian Palace's master Xian Baining. Every one of them stood as powerful cultivators in the Purple Mansion realm, their sects being the most ancient in the history of the Dali dynasty, never ceasing the passing down of Purple Mansion cultivators. The remaining individuals present were also considerable leaders from Dali dynasty, all gathered together here. These sect representatives came because the 5 families, equal in fame to the three sects, had invited them to discuss significant matters. Of course, now the 5 families had reduced to 4 because of the extermination of the Qingzhou Chui family by Ghost Ridge Palace. What does the Li family mean by calling us here and yet not showing themselves now that everyone has arrived? They have quite the airs. The middle-aged man with red eyebrows, the Purple Cloud Pavilion master Jia Longheng, complained, revealing significant impatience. Nowadays, in Dali City, with the assembly of strong figures from the exotic realm, their aristocratic families feel pressured, most likely inviting us here to discuss strategies. Jotian Palace Master Xian Baining spoke with a crisp voice, with brows like paintings, and many couldn't help but cast their gaze. This celebrated beauty of the Dali dynasty, though over 300 years old, showed no trace of age upon her. Those aristocratic families are always deceitful. A few years ago, when the Chui family was exterminated by Ghost Ridge Palace, we assumed they would behave more humbly, yet they've furtively supported various uprisings, stirring trouble throughout the country. Yin Yang sect master Su Jinling held disdain for aristocratic families, his words not lacking in criticism. Other present sect masters also engaged in discussions, noting the aristocratic family's tendency to scheme in turbulent times, their involvement with the uprisings within Dili dynasty, and reportedly colluding with exotic realm cultivators who entered the ancient continent. This is easy to comprehend. In chaotic times, a new emperor is destined to emerge, and aristocratic families will choose to stake their bets in advance. Stronger aristocratic families will further advance their stakes to ensure a place within new dynasties once established. I just entered and heard someone speaking ill of us. I wonder when we offended Sect Master Su. Footsteps sounded from outside as a group entered the courtyard. At the forefront was a middle-aged man wearing a scholar's robe, donning a Confucian hat, holding a feather fan, and with no white beard, his mid-stage purple mansion cultivation plainly displayed. Beside the man were 3 others, one holding early-stage purple mansion cultivation, while the other 2 wheeled Dao platform cultivation. These 4 were from the millennial families of the Dili dynasty, the Lianzhou family, Lanzhaosong family, Anzhougao family, Fengzhou family, the 4 great millennial families gathered, except for the Qingzhou Chui family, removed by Ghost Ridge Palace. Among this assembly, the scholar-robed man was the leader. He was Li Daozhong, the current family head of the Lianzhou Li family, the Li family boasting the strongest power among aristocratic families, always as the leading family. Su Jinling's gaze was sharp like a knife. Looking toward Li Daozhong as he approached, he softly said, "Perhaps Mr. Li is somewhat forgetful, not mentioning long ago, but 5 years back, when our sect's holy daughter descended the mountains to train, targeted by your Li family, how can you forget? This was a misunderstanding. Our Li family has already visited to apologize. Besides, your sect's holy daughter likes meddling with affairs. We merely expelled her, not doing anything more." Li Daozhong cupped his hand politely, poised yet not arrogant. Su Jinling snorted coldly. "Meddling? Xiao Yu merely discovered your Li family enslaving starved peasants, righteously choosing to intervene." Li Daozhong smiled, saying, "This is our family affair which your sect's holy daughter intruded upon too much." This remark essentially pointed fingers at Su Jinling, stating that their matters were none of Yin Yang Palace's business. "Enough idle talk, Mr. Li. Why have you summoned us here?" Jia Longheng slapped the table, interrupting the quarrel between the two. "Mr. Li, if just calling us to quarrel, we shall take our leave." Xian Baining swept her gaze coldly toward the aristocratic families led by Li Daozhong. Li Daozhong straightened his expression, took out a golden token, and slowly spoke. "It's not me looking for you all. In fact, the one who truly wants to meet you is the 9 heavens holy land." Engraved on this golden token was a massive Shao character. When everyone's gaze focused on it, their minds felt hazy, as if they saw an immense and majestic tome like a mountain rising among the clouds. The book was divided into 9 levels, each shimmering in different hues, transforming into various divine beasts such as true dragons, phoenixes, qilin, kuanping, golden crows, and mysterious turtles. The aura of the Tao enveloped the heavens, illustrating the truth of the great Tao, formless and without appearance. The sect masters all felt their divine souls tremble, Even Su Jinling, Jia Longheng, and Xian Baining, 3 Purple Mansion strongmen, felt their yang gods being intensely oppressed, as if facing some sort of formless great Tao, rendering them as insignificant as ants. The Shen Shao order. Jia Longheng came back to his senses, looking at the token in Li Daozhong's hand. Seemingly recalling something, his face changed drastically. The 9 Heavens Holy Land divides its disciples into different levels. Xin Shao, Qing Shao, Bi Shao, Dan Shao, Jing Shao, Yu Xiao, Lang Shao, Zi Shao, and Fire Cloud. Within this holy land, only the current saint heir among the disciples can possess such a golden Shen Shao token, representing an identity of supreme nobility. This Shen Shao token alone is a mid-grade spiritual treasure. The current saint heir of the 9 Heavens Holy Land has already arrived in Dali City. Li Daozhong's smile did not diminish, and he said in an indisputable tone, "The Holy Sun has ordered that you may join forces to destroy the Dali Dragon Vein, hastening the fall of the Dali dynasty. One day when the 9 Heavens Holy Land reigns over the ancient continent, your sects can be assured of everlasting glory. Otherwise, have some of you truly forgotten the esteemed name of the 9 Heavens Holy Land?" The scene fell silent. Only the sounds of heavy breathing echoed. The 9 Heavens Holy Land is truly returning. Xian Baining's face was solemn. She recalled her sect's secret records. Li Daozhong nodded and smiled, saying, "Naturally so. None of you should harbor any luck. Regardless of who becomes the new great Emperor Hollow, they must abide by the rules of the 9 Heavens Holy Land." Xian Baining knew there was an oversight in Li Daozhong's words. At least when Emperor Tianwu was in power, the 9 Heavens Holy Land could not step a foot into the ancient continent. According to the sect's records, Emperor Tianwu, originating from the 9 Heavens Holy Land, ultimately rebelled against it, turning foes and causing the complete withdrawal of the Holy Land's forces from the ancient continent. The 7 continents of the Tianyuan world have always been regarded by the 5 great holy lands as nurseries. In the past, the ancient continent belonged to the traditional sphere of influence of the 9 Heavens Holy Land, taken at will. Until Emperor Tianwu rose, the ancient continent broke completely free from the control of the 9 Heavens Holy Land, erased all traces of the Holy Land's presence, and left the 10,000 Dragon Pearl as a guardian, preventing any from the exotic realm from advancing. But such beings as Emperor Tianwu might appear once in 1,000 million years. A new great emperor likely lacks the power to prevent the re-entry of the 9 Heavens Holy Land. Our Purple Cloud Pavilion is willing to heed the command. While Xian Baining was still contemplating, behind her, Jia Longheng had already fallen to one knee, expressing willingness to submit. When others saw this, most hesitated for a moment, and more knelt down. The fame of the Holy Land was so great. Opposing it would be no different than smashing an egg against a rock. Xian Baining and Su Jinling exchanged glances, and Xian Baining was the first to react, saying, "Mr. Li, I cannot decide this matter alone. Please allow me to return to the sect to discuss with the Supreme Elders before giving a response." Xian Baining used a delaying tactic, planning to observe the situation first, not rushing to take sides. Compared to Xian Baining, Su Jinling simply stood up and said, "Mr. Li, our Yin Yang Palace will not wade into these muddied waters. Farewell." Without any hesitation, he turned and left as soon as he finished speaking. Clearly, not everyone is willing to be a dog for the Holy Land. Ignorant. Watching this fellow dare to refuse, Li Daozhong's face turned cold, internally sentencing him to death. Under the serene night sky, stars dotted above, the cold moonlight spread over the land, and a massive shadow resembling a dark cloud swept across the sky dome, blocking the moonlight above, revealing a frigid-scaled dragon body. It was a gigantic flying dragon boat, over a kilometer long, built using the hollowed-out corpse of a true dragon, retaining the dragon's skeletal structure and scales as a framework, with its interior decorated luxuriously with jade pavilions and carved beams. Every dragon's scale on the dragon boat's surface had runes inscribed on it. Emitting a green light, the dragons might flowing like mercury, while the talisman array beneath created ripples that dyed the clouds in a 100-mile radius a golden red hue. Animals trembled in terror wherever it passed, huddled in their caves, shaking in fear. At the top of the dragon boat stood a towering flag, flapping loudly in the strong wind, revealing the two majestic characters within, 9 heavens. This was the chariot of a prominent figure from the 9 heavens Holy Land, serving wartime purposes akin to the flying magical boat of Guanchao Pavilion but countless times more formidable. To construct such a flying dragon boat alone required the hunting of an adult true dragon. An adult true dragon, whose strength began at the Purple Mansion realm, was a feat achievable by only a handful of forces. Only an entity like the 9 heavens Holy Land, standing at the apex of the Tianyuan world, could afford to build such a war machine. In one grand hall within the dragon boat, a group of dancers clad in thin gauze, their snow-white skin faintly visible, swayed like flexible water snakes to the music. Before the dancers sat 2 men facing each other. One of them was Li Daozhong, the most powerful family head in the Deli dynasty. Yet his demeanor was no longer high and mighty. Instead, he humbly served tea, exceedingly attentive. Opposite him was a young-looking man, with frost-colored hair falling to the waist. He leaned against a bronze chair carved with cloud motifs, his dark, deep eyes pressed by thick sword-like brows, covering his drowsy eyes. Holy Sun, tonight we will reach Mengshi Mountain, the Yinyang Palace's Mountain Gate residence. Their sect strength is formidable, and from the intelligence I've gathered, besides their sect master Su Jinling, who is at the Purple Mansion realm, they may have a Purple Mansion ancestor who survived using the Life Tomb secret technique, along with numerous Taoist platform realm elders. Li Daozhong spoke with utmost respect, for the man in front was none other than the Holy Sun Meng Lei Zhe from the 9 heavens Holy Land. The 9 heavens Holy Land was an immense entity. To be its contemporary Holy Sun meant being a truly paramount figure, not just for him but for the entire Li family as well, merely country landowners in comparison. A bunch of worthless rabble. Just crush them. Meng Lei Zhe yawned, with a lazy air of drowsiness, completely disregarding the so-called Yinyang Palace. Li Daozhong hurriedly agreed, saying, Yes, yes, the Yinyang Palace is ungrateful. From the moment they refused the offer, their doom was inevitable. He secretly rejoiced. As long as the thorny Yinyang Palace was eliminated, other sects would obediently cooperate with him, aiding in the destruction of the Deli dynasty's dragon vein. Don't bother me with such trivial matters in the future. How is the real task I assigned you going? Meng Lei Zhe picked up a teacup and took a sip of spiritual tea, slightly invigorating his spirit. Holy Sun, our personnel is already arranged. The Deli dragon vein is located just east of Li City, but it's concealed by a formation, with troops heavily guarding it and the Heavenly Patrol Department's forces involved. Li Daozhong dared not hide anything, reporting all his findings from these days. Whether the 10,000 dragon pearl, this Dao treasure, is indeed inside the dragon vein remains unknown to us. Useless. Can't even handle this simple task. Meng Lei Zhe glanced at Li Daozhong with an imposing presence that overwhelmed him with fear. Sweat dripped from his forehead, trembling in every fiber of his being. Holy Sun, please calm your anger. Give us some time, we will definitely. Within 1 week. I want the Deli dynasty's dragon veins severed. Meng Lei Zhe completely disregarded Li Daozhong's explanation, forcibly interrupting him with a deadline. The Deli dragon vein was crucial, and the 10,000 dragon pearl even more so. This Dao treasure left by Emperor Tianwu was like a thorn. He had to ensure that the 10,000 dragon pearl had indeed lost its miraculous autonomous attack ability. Without removing it, he dared not approach Li City, and even refrained from acting slightly on the ancient continent. Others from the exotic realm could enter the ancient continent without issues, but that didn't mean he could. After all, he was from the 9 heavens Holy Land, and Emperor Tianwu was also from the 9 heavens Holy Land but turned into a mortal enemy. Given the bloody feud and massive conflict between them 1,000 years ago, the 9 heavens Holy Land would definitely top Emperor Tianwu's kill list. If he rashly acted, or was sensed by the 10,000 dragon pearl, he'd be obliterated, even if equipped with treasures from the Holy Land. The 10,000 dragon pearl, this ultimate Tao treasure, created by Emperor Tianwu using essences from 10,000 dragon veins on the ancient continent, exhausting a lifetime's effort. It was the pinnacle of Tao treasures. Even though Tao treasures aren't classified like magic artifacts and magical treasures, they have degrees of potency. Just like among cave void emperors, Emperor Tianwu achieved a record of 1v3, verifiable in records. This level, the cave void realm, also lacks specific classification, relying instead on the accumulation of refined grotto heavens. The stronger the refined grotto heavens, the stronger the combat power. As for Emperor Tianwu, he created heavenly net dragon suppressing divine scripture on his own, using the dragon vein as a foundation, intending to refine the myriad dragon veins of the entire ancient continent, making the entire continent his pocket world. This insane idea ultimately failed due to lack of heavenly Tao fortune, and luckily did not succeed, otherwise the consequences would have been unimaginable. At that time, not to mention Hollow, even the crossing Tao ancestor master in seclusion would have been terrified, right? This is also why Emperor Tianwu had such strong combat power. Strictly speaking, the dragon vein is not a pocket world, but he forcibly carved out a completely new path. Seeing Meng Lei Zhe fall into thought, Li Daozhong's lips trembled a few times, and finally, he could only agree with a mournful face. Yes, Holy Son. Rest assured, we will definitely cut off the Dali dragon vein and find the 10,000 dragon pearl. He had a premonition that if he couldn't do this well, it might be the time for the Li family to be removed. There's another task for you. Secretly search for this item, and the moment you find any clue, report to me immediately. Meng Lei Zhe glanced sideways at him, taking out a piece of white paper, on which was drawn an ancient bronze mirror. Li Daozhong lowered his head and saw the ancient mirror engraved with Tai Shenwan on the paper. The mirror surface seemed to have countless time-space lines flowing. Just one glance made him dizzy, with a faint sense of absurdity as if space-time was in chaos. Clearly, it's just a mirror drawn on paper, but it had a strong sense of reality, affecting his mind, truly unheard of, and he had no idea what kind of treasure this was. Holy Son, what is this? Li Daozhong carefully asked, not daring to look at the paper too much. Don't ask what you should not ask. Do this job well, and you'll be greatly rewarded. Meng Lei Zhe had no intention of answering, merely instructing Li Daozhong to search as a local tyrant. Yes. Li Daozhong nodded in agreement. At this moment his brows moved, eyes showing joy. Holy Son, the Yin Yang Palace has arrived. Go! Meng Lei Zhe waved his hand dismissively, and Li Daozhong quickly withdrew to prepare for war. I have no idea where the immortal treasure Kunlun Mirror is. If it weren't for Wei Yu the thief, how could our 9 heavens treasure be lost? Meng Lei Zhe's face was gloomy. In the Tianyuan world, there are 5 immortal treasures: the Chaos Banner, the Heavenly Suppressing Cauldron, the Kunlun Mirror, the Immortal Slaying Sword, and the Reincarnation Spear. These 5 immortal treasures are said to have been left by true immortals, each with world-shaking power. This is also the origin of the term immortal treasure. Legend has it that in ancient times there were immortals in the Tianyuan world, and beyond the crossing realm one could become an immortal by defying the Tao. However, immortals have disappeared for who knows how many years, so long that even the sacred lands lost records, and the pinnacle achievable in the Tianyuan world is only the crossing realm. The original purpose of the Thousand Immortals Association's establishment was to become immortals, striving ceaselessly, because the existence of immortal treasures is evidence that immortals once existed. Such treasures even crossing cultivators cannot reach, let alone refine them. What crossing cultivators can refine and use are Tao treasures, such Taoist weapons, differing only in strength. The 5 immortal treasures are each controlled by a holy land, but the 9 heavens holy land's immortal treasure, the Kunlun Mirror, was stolen 1,000 years ago by Wei Yu, that thief, known as Emperor Tianwu, and its whereabouts remain unknown. Their 9 heavens holy land is eager to return to occupy the ancient continent, not only to regain control of this nursery, but also to find the immortal treasure lost by their own holy land. The Li Dynasty, Jiazhou, Mengshi Mountain. This is the mountain gate of the Yin Yang Palace's residence, which is also Jiazhou's largest pocket world, with the total number of sect disciples and servants exceeding 100,000. With the name of the three main sects, the Yinyang Palace has been passed down here in Mengshi Mountain for tens of thousands of years and is the true dominant force in the local area, incredibly powerful. But today, a war against the Yinyang Palace's mountain and temple began. As the flying dragon boat of the Nine Heavens Holy Land crushed through the sea of clouds, soaring above the Yinyang Palace, 9 bronze chains entwined with chaos chi dangled from the stern, tearing the 100 miles mountain range where Mengshi Mountain was located from the earth vein. Amidst earth-shaking tremors, the gigantic dragon head spewed thunder and fire, emitting a deafening dragon roar. Its claws tearing the sky as the crimson gold flames scorched the clouds within 100 miles into molten gold, fiercely attacking the Yinyang Palace's mountain protection array, stirring an endless tsunami of spiritual power. The Yinyang Palace disrespected the sacred order. Today, follow the Holy Sun and exterminate the entire Yinyang Palace. Kill. Li Daozhong's expression was ferocious, accompanied by 2 Purple Mansion strongmen and dozens of Taoist platform realm experts, along with a large number of secret realm cultivators, all from the 5 Great Families Foundation. As the words fell, the 12 bronze thunder drums on the flying dragon boat reverberated in unison, the dragon boat charging with thunderous force towards the azure light shield of the mountain protection array below. Under successive impacts, divine pattern scripts appeared on the surface of this mountain protection array but still could not withstand it. As the light shield cracked with sounds of jade breaking, it was riddled with cobweb-like fractures. The 81 altars forming the mountain protection array all cracked simultaneously. The array flickered a few times, persisted for only a few seconds, then finally completely shattered. Li Daozhong, you're courting death. Yinyang Palace sect master Su Jinling had already awakened in shock, seeing the massive flying dragon boat above, and the gathered aristocratic family strongmen including Li Daozhong, filled with alarming fury. He didn't expect that as soon as he rejected Li Daozhong, the latter would immediately bring people to attack the mountain gate. And seeing that enormous flying dragon boat, his gaze was fierce, knowing that the 9 Heavens Holy Land supported them. Otherwise, how could they dare to be so bold? Su Jinling, this is what I should say to you. Today is the day of your death. Li Daozhong let out a cold laugh, waved his vast hand, and countless noble families' children beside him rushed out, charging towards the Yinyang Palace, while Li Daozhong himself directly sought out Su Jinling. The war had begun, with Mengshi Mountain at its center, and the shouts echoed to the heavens and earth, turning the battle instantly into a fever pitch. Besides Su Jinling, the Yinyang Palace had another Purple Mansion ancestor, awoken from his slumber, with a late-stage Purple Mansion cultivation before his death. Having no hope to advance to the Hollow Realm, he used the Life Tomb secret technique to bury himself, hoping to gain heavenly Dao fortune and ascend to the Hollow Realm in the future. Yet, still in slumber, he was forced to emerge as his home was ransacked. This Yinyang Palace ancestor's combat power was astonishing. Even though he had been buried for countless years, his fighting abilities were exceptionally terrifying. The Life Tomb secret technique can only be cultivated by a late-stage Purple Mansion cultivator. Despite lacking his past strength and missing both his heavenly palace and Yang God, he still possessed terrifying power, facing off against 2 noble Purple Mansion cultivators single-handedly with immense battle prowess. The war scene was at a standstill, with neither side able to swiftly overcome the other. On the dragon boat, Meng Lei Zhe watched the battle below with his hands behind his back, overlooking the scene. A bunch of useless trash. Meng Lei Zhe's gaze was indifferent. Worried about the possible detection caused by the 10,000 Dragon Pearl, he chose not to act directly, and instead activated a prearranged formation on the dragon boat to shield his aura as much as possible. At the same time, the dragon boat unleashed a powerful suction force, drawing Su Jinling uncontrollably toward it. This caused his expression to change dramatically, and within moments, he was pulled onto the deck of the dragon boat, where a towering man stood before him. A mere lowly commoner dares defy the Holy Land. Meng Lei Zhe couldn't be bothered to raise his eyes as he struck out with his palm. What he unleashed wasn't a dazzling divine light, but the extreme compression of a silent darkness, forming a black handprint that swallowed light. The mere aftermath of the strike caused several main peaks of Mengshi Mountain to collapse simultaneously, spreading an aura of heart-palpitating despair akin to a world-destroying hand. With the formation on the dragon boat hiding his aura, he could strike without reservation, to avoid detection by the 10,000 Dragon Pearl. Su Jinling felt a momentary haze as he saw the black handprint pressing down. His face was filled with terror, as the power far surpassed his by countless times, rendering him completely incapable of resisting. "Ancestor, save me!" Su Jinling shouted, but it was already too late. As the handprint descended, his entire physical body and Yang God were blasted apart, and a Purple Mansion middle-stage cultivator couldn't withstand even one palm from Meng Lei Zhe. Though Meng Lei Zhe also had a late-stage Purple Mansion cultivation, hailing from the Nine Heavens Holy Land meant his cultivation techniques, talent, and resources were unimaginable to cultivators of the ancient continent. To become the Holy Sun signified he was the most outstanding disciple of this generation in the Nine Heavens Holy Land. The Purple Mansion cultivators from the 7 continents of the Tianyuan world were entirely different from him. The Yinyang Palace Purple Mansion ancestor witnessed Su Jinling's tragic death, eyes bloodshot with rage, shattering a spiritual jade pendant on his chest, and condensed the essence blood he spat out into a 10-yard-long blood sword. The sky dome was split into gold and silver as it stabbed towards Meng Lei Zhe. A half-buried crippled old corpse dares to seek death. "I'll fulfill your wish." Meng Lei Zhe's gaze was cold, and a Purple Mansion divine palace faintly emerged between his brows, making him appear majestic like an emperor. As he moved to the dragon boat, he casually reached out and crushed the blood sword, propelled by the force that shattered the mountains, coming from the Yinyang Palace ancestor. No! The Yinyang Palace ancestor was terrified. His full-strength attack crumbled to dust, with no time to react before an invisible force swept over him. He was immediately crushed, raining down a shower of crimson blood across the sky. "Finish the battle in an hour. I have no time to play house with you all." After casting a cold glance at Li Daozhong, Meng Lei Zhe turned and left. Li Daozhong wiped the cold sweat off his forehead, yet his eyes were filled with exhilaration. With the high-level cultivators gone, the war's outcome was decided. Kill, slaughter every last member of the Yinyang Palace's sect. The Holy Sun is watching us. Let's erase Yinyang Palace from Tianyuan. Li Daozhong raised his sword and roared, surrounded by countless excited noble families' children, who pounced like wolves and tigers on the demoralized Yinyang Palace disciples. The massacre began. The victory in a sect battle is always decided by the top-tier combat power. Once the top powers fall, the entire sect can be easily ravaged. The cries of battle faded from fierce to faint, and eventually into complete silence. Only an hour later, the flying dragon boat disappeared into the sky dome's end, and the night over Mengshi Mountain was tinged with blood, the air heavy with the stench of blood. Mengshi Mountain had become a river of blood, with countless corpses of Yinyang Palace disciples scattered across the land. This sect, with thousands of years of heritage, was annihilated, its legacy severed. The annihilation of the Yinyang Palace mountain gate struck the Deli dynasty like a meteor, causing a massive upheaval. This was not something that could be concealed. The Yinyang Palace, a divine sect with a legacy spanning tens of thousands of years, vanished overnight, and anyone with eyes could see the change, sparking countless rumors throughout the Dali dynasty. Some claimed it was the doing of the Divine Eagle Empire from the north, others suspected cultivators from the exotic realm, and some speculated it was the other 2 divine sects, the Purple Cloud Pavilion and Jiutian Palace, that were responsible. However, those major sects that had once attended aristocratic family gatherings knew the real reason for the Yinyang Palace's demise. 3 days later, to the east of Delhi City, there stood a mountain range. Though not very high, it bore a grand name, Dragon Sleep Mountain. This was where the dragon vein of the Delhi dynasty resided, revered as the source of its dragon vein. It was also the burial site of Emperor Tianwu, and legend had it that his Dao treasure, the 10,000 Dragon Pearl, was entombed with him. To protect this tomb, The Dali dynasty stationed a heavy military presence around Dragon Sleep Mountain. Recently, due to the emergence of cultivators from the exotic realm, the defensive forces had been bolstered further. Throughout history, many forces have set their sights on this tomb, whether for Emperor Tianwu's corpse, the 10,000 Dragon Pearl, or to sever the Deli dragon vein. All were amongst the desires of the enemies of the Deli dynasty. Especially in the current declining state of the Deli dynasty, those with designs on the tomb were countless. That night, around Dragon Sleep Mountain, in the darkness, numerous eyes were fixed upon it, filled with restless intentions. Are you certain the 10,000 Dragon Pearl is stored within Dragon Sleep Mountain? At the foot of Dragon Sleep Mountain, accompanied by a hoarse voice, a pair of eyes emitted a green light in the darkness. 8 or 9 times out of 10, the 10,000 Dragon Pearl was Emperor Tianwu's personal treasure, surely buried with his corpse, and only within the dragon vein can this Tao treasure, refined with the essence of myriad dragon veins, wield its greatest power. Whether to sever the dragon vein of the Deli dynasty or to seize the 10,000 Dragon Pearl, we must break through the formation constraints of this Dragon Sleep Mountain. Everyone, let's strike together. In the deep night, several figures stood together, clad in attire different from that of the Deli dynasty. Anyone well-versed in exotic realm intelligence would be shocked to recognize the identities of those present. For instance, the first speaker was Qi Yin, the Tianqin Taoist from the Immortal Flower Continent, practicing the Heavenly Defect Six Paths Demon Scripture. Known as the greatest source of chaos in the Immortal Flower Continent, having once incited a rebellion against Emperor Dongshu of the Immortal Flower Continent. He was heavily repressed by the emperor, barely escaping with his life. Then there was Su Tianyi from the Danwu continent, nicknamed the Undying Mad Saber, whose domineering and majestic saber technique was peerless, a single strike enough to astonish gods and ghosts. And Fu Yunhan, the Earth Demon True Monarch from the Donghuang continent, proclaimed as the foremost under Purple Mansion in Donghuang continent, who once defeated 2 same-level Purple Mansion cultivators in 1-on-2 combat, an extraordinary feat. In addition, there were those from the Dragon Source continent, Yao Guang continent, Shuyuan continent. Each individual present here was a Purple Mansion cultivator from the exotic realm, members of the Thousand Immortals Association, renowned and formidable. Tianqin Taoist Qi Yin, with a thin and lean body, skin stretched tightly over his frame like a humanoid bat, gazed in another direction, chuckling sinisterly. No rush. We're not the only ones eyeing Dragon Sleep Mountain. Forces within the Deli dynasty want it to fall more than we do. Those aristocratic families have contacted me. They'll strike before us. The so-called Deli dynasty aristocratic families. I don't mean to belittle them, but their strength is merely SOSO. At least let them pave the way. Test the reality of Dragon Sleep Mountain for us first. How much strength does the Deli dynasty have left? The Wei royal family at most has a few ancient cultivators of the Life Tomb secret technique, and just a few Purple Mansion cultivators in the Heavenly Patrol Department. In the entire ancient continent, I see few native Heavenly Destiny people with strength, incomparable to us. Once the Deli dynasty falls, we'll rely on our own skills to see who can reach the end and seize the Heavenly Destiny throne. Quiet laughter erupted amongst the group, indifferent to the power of the Deli dynasty. The dynasty had declined to an extreme, and these individuals were all Purple Mansion strongmen from other continents, their number alone incomparable to that of the Deli dynasty. Jiang Shuling was also among them, but hearing the discussions of the surrounding Purple Mansion strongmen, he too had thought similarly until he encountered the devil Su Jie. He opened his mouth, eventually saying nothing, as he wasn't familiar with these people anyway. Despite their cooperation now, in reality each was a competitor to the others. Look, they've made their move. Qi Yin's eyes flickered in the darkness, and Dragon Sleep Mountain suddenly erupted in a blaze of heavenly fire, accompanied by a roar, and the formation's halo was activated. How dare you, Lianzhou Li family, Lanzhao Song family, Anzhou Gao family, Fengzhou Lu family, do you dare disturb the ancestor holy tomb? Are you rebelling? A shout rang out, and the face of Wei Jun, clad in heavy armor, tall and holding the spiritual treasure Golden Dragon Spear, turned iron blue. He was of the Wei royal family lineage with mid-stage purple mansion cultivation, one of only 2 purple mansion figures representing the Wei royal family, alongside the newly promoted purple mansion cultivator, Wei Yushuang. At this moment, Wei Jun looked at the noble family's children attacking from the foot of the mountain, and a strong sense of unease arose within him. Before him, the 4 great families appeared in unison, with over 1,000 aristocratic masters, 3 noble purple mansion strongmen, and he also saw 7 or 8 sect forces, including the Purple Cloud Pavilion Master Jia Longheng, with no less than 4 purple mansion strongmen gathered together, making for a terrifying force. Li Daozhong's expression was indifferent as he looked at Wei Jun and said in a deep voice, "Wei Jun, the Dali dynasty is destined to fall. I advise you not to be stubborn and follow the Dali dynasty to its end. It's not a bad path to surrender early and preserve your usefulness." After annihilating the Yinyang Palace, he returned via the Flying Dragon boat, not daring to delay for even a moment due to the Saint Ermeng Lei's deadline, and united the power of the aristocratic families and sects to directly storm Dragon Sleep Mountain. Nonsense. How could our Dali dynasty possibly fall at the hands of a bunch of thieves like you? Wei Jun gritted his teeth, his eyes bloodshot, glared at Li Daozhong, and then looked at those sect forces, shouting loudly, "Jia Longheng, what promises did the sects and aristocratic families give you, for you to follow them in rebelling against our Dali dynasty?" Many sects present bowed their heads and remained silent. The destruction of the Yinyang Palace forced these sects to comply with the orders of the 9 Heavens Holy Land, lest their fate be that of the Yinyang Palaces tomorrow. "Ha ha! Wei Jun, you're truly senile. Can't you see the situation clearly? This world has long ceased to belong to the Dali dynasty. If you don't step aside today, this will be your grave." Jia Longheng had no apprehension, having already sided with the 9 Heavens Holy Land's mighty ship. He regarded the Dali royal family as nothing. Formation. The last trace of hope in Wei Jun's heart faded. He heavily plunged the golden dragon spear into the ground, using himself as the array eye, fully operating the formation of Dragon Sleep Mountain. Behind him, 30,000 soldiers formed ranks, including 3,000 Xian Tai dragon riders. They combined with the army formation and the array, forming the 4 symbols 9 transformations formation. A massive killing intent soared into the sky, with the virtual images of the Azure Dragon, White Tiger, Vermilion Bird, and Xuanwu emerging above, each as large as a mountain, evidently a great Taoist formation. Enter the formation, and kill without mercy. Wei Jun's momentum kept climbing. He raised the golden dragon spear which emitted a series of dragon roars, awakening the citizens of Dali City, far over hundreds of miles away. Li Daozhong's face grew more serious. A great Taoist formation was not to be trifled with, but now the arrow was on the bowstring and had to be released. They still had the advantage in direct strength. Furthermore, he did not believe those exotic continent purple mansion strongmen wouldn't interfere. Take action. Li Daozhong sneered coldly, no longer wasting time, as every second of delay could lead to an unexpected outcome. In the blink of an eye, powerful figures from aristocratic families and sects began rushing toward the 4 symbols 9 transformations formation, with the 2 sides instantly engaging in a fierce battle. On the battlefield, countless treasure techniques clashed, innumerable flying swords darted around like locusts over a field, the great Tao divine sound resonating, and the roars of the 4 holy beasts shook heaven and earth. Shattered corpses like mere ragged cloth were torn apart on the battlefield. Let's Act 2. Qi Yin watched the Dragon Sleep Mountain battlefield ahead. A bloodthirsty smile played at his lips, and he hurled himself like a giant rock, rushing into battle. The other exotic continent cultivators swiftly followed. With their entry into the battlefield, they became the last straw to break the camel's back. Initially resisting with the great Taoist formation, Wei Jun and the army formation were instantly broken and shattered as a breach was forcefully blasted open in Dragon Sleep Mountain's formation. Meanwhile, inside Dali City, the residents had long since been awakened by the battle. At the Heavenly Patrol Department station, Zhang Qingsong, the Heavenly Patrol Department director, a late-stage purple mansion strongman, walked in the air, followed closely by Qin Yushang, an early-stage Purple Mansion cultivator, rushing toward Dragon Sleep Mountain. As for the other Heavenly Patrol Department Purple Mansion cultivator Xiao Wunshan, he was stationed at the northern border as a precaution against the Divine Eagle Empire. Father Emperor, what did you say? You want me to stay here to protect the Imperial Palace? I can't do that. If you are afraid, then awaken 2 ancestors from underground. I am going to Dragon Sleep Mountain. At the Dali City Imperial Palace, Wei Yuxuang donned battle armor, with a frost-covered face, coldly glancing at her father, Wei Cheng, and the group of sobbing concubines in the harem, as well as those panic-stricken royal family descendants, her siblings. Ultimately, she ignored the dissuasions and chose to journey to Dragon Sleep Mountain alone to offer her support. Being one of the only 2 Purple Mansion cultivators of the Delhi royal family, she couldn't sit idly by while the Grand Ancestors' mausoleum was damaged. The entire Delhi city had no one sleeping, as the waves of energy from Purple Mansion strongmen's clashes and the heavenly might of the Great Taoist Formation intertwined, forming a seemingly apocalyptic scene. Even over hundreds of miles away, shivering ordinary people felt the impact. Sis, quick, let's go and watch. It looks like the fighting at Dragon Sleep Mountain has turned into a river of blood. In the inn room, Ning Xinyue's face was full of excitement, eager to find her sister, yet found the room empty. I forgot. Today is the day for cultivating the 10,000 Tribulations Nirvana technique. Ning Xinyue halted. Her sister disappeared for days every month for cultivating the 10,000 Tribulations Nirvana technique, and today happened to be one of those days. Whatever, I'll go alone. I'll just be cautious. Ning Xinyue muttered to herself, confident in her treasure, that even if a Purple Mansion cultivator wanted to kill her, she could escape. She acted on impulse, took out a Godspeed talisman from the storage bag, and attached it to her feet. This was not the kind ordinary cultivators used, but one capable of moving miles away, at speeds that most Purple Mansion cultivators could only envy. With a whoosh, Ning Xinyue transformed into a streak of golden light, flying out of the inn. Meanwhile, in another inn in Delhi City, Su Jie stroked his chin and chuckled lightly. Dragon Sleep Mountain. Interesting. As he spoke, Su Jie had already vanished from the inn. Dragon Sleep Mountain. At this moment, the entire mountain had been leveled, and the earth had a massive black chasm, deep and bottomless like an abyss, reaching deep underground. The boundless golden dragon vein power burst from it like auroras shooting from the earth to the skies, visible clearly across 1,000 miles, representing the power of the Dali dragon vein. Surrounding it lay broken bodies, belonging to Dali soldiers, aristocratic families' children, and sect disciples alike. Most notably, in the center of the battlefield, lay a body clad in heavy armor. It was none other than Wei Jun. The first to arrive there was Zhang Qingsong, who did not wait for Qin Yushang. Upon seeing the deserted battlefield, Wei Jun's body, and another Purple Mansion corpse facing Wei Jun, alongside the gaping chasm connecting to the dragon vein underground. Wei Jun, Anzhou Gao family patriarch. Seeing Wei Jun's body and the corpse of the Gao family patriarch from the 4 great families opposite it, Zhang Qingsong's eyes narrowed, scanning the battlefield's traces. Even the Great Dao Formation of 4 Symbols 9 Transformations formation was broken, showing the enemy's strength. With his keen eyesight, Zhang Qingsong quickly reconstructed the approximate battle engagements. Many Purple Mansion strongmen ambushed Dragon Sleep Mountain, and unable to withstand it, Wei Jun blew up the Great Dao Formation, dragging a Purple Mansion strongman to mutual destruction. Indeed, the explosion of the Great Dao Formation spared no cultivator below the Purple Mansion. It also took away a Purple Mansion strongman, perhaps the last thing Wei Jun could do. As for other surviving enemies, Zhang Qingsong looked into the abyss-like dragon vein crack, already knowing where they headed. Forget it. Taking my sovereign's salary, I must do something. Zhang Qingsong sighed, eventually stepping forward, entering the dragon vein crack alone. Soon thereafter, the battlefield, saturated with a bloody odor, echoed with footsteps again. Su Jie emerged from the shadows, arriving at the battlefield strewn with corpses, seeing broken bodies and scattered treasures everywhere. What a waste. Su Jie shook his head. Whenever he fought, he would ensure the battlefield was cleanly swept, unlike this waste. With a wave of his hand, one by one, scattered treasures flew towards him like swallows returning to their nest, and into the storage bag at his waist. While Su Jie picked delightedly, footsteps sounded once more, and several magical treasures flew in the direction of the footsteps. Hee, finders keepers, you can't take them all. Ning Xinyue cheerfully inspected the flying magical treasures, calling to Su Jie's silhouette. She initially thought her speed was fast enough, yet someone had beaten her to it, having similarly targeted the treasures. Upon hearing the voice, Su Jie knew who had come, turning while smiling. Treasures belong to the worthy. Do you think you can take them from me? Maid Ning, your courage has grown. You underestimate me. Ning Xinyue's voice suddenly halted. Her bright eyes adorably widened, dazed for a couple of seconds, before she dropped the magical treasure in her hand, excited like a puppy, dashing into Su Jie's embrace and bit onto his arm. Are you part dog? Su Jie pinched Ning Xinyue's cheek, wondering why this girl bit him right off the bat. Humph, you deceived me. Ning Xinyue mumbled incoherently as her cheek was pinched, clawing at Su Jie. When did I deceive you? It's your own fault for not recognizing me. Su Jie released his hand with a dramatic sigh. Besides, after all this time apart, you don't even think about your dear brother. I'm so disappointed. It seems our bond has faded, and you're no longer my good sister. Ning Xinyue's demeanor deflated, and she muttered with her mouth. Who said that? I never said I disliked you. I missed you too. Okay? Really? Su Jie leaned closer, staring into Ning Xinyue's bright, charming face. Their eyes met and locked. Ning Xinyue turned away, not daring to meet Su Jie's gaze. Seeing Ning Xinyue's expression, Su Jie couldn't help but smile. In that case, for the sake of our pure friendship, how about a kiss? Whoosh! Ning Xinyue's face visibly flushed. She took 2 steps back in confusion, her sweet eyes wide open, taking a few seconds to process it. Who'd want to kiss a man who hasn't met me in years and doesn't bother to find me? That kind of thing won't let you take advantage of me easily. Ning Xinyue's face turned crimson, trying to maintain a calm tone with a hint of haughtiness. Ah, it seems I was presumptuous. After all, with your esteemed background, it's normal to look down on someone from a small place like me. I'll just look for other women who can be in tune with me. Su Jie shook his head, showing a hint of disappointment appropriately. Hey, wait! Ning Xinyue quickly looked up. Then I'll leave. I'll leave you the treasures here as a gift for our reunion. Until we meet again. Don't go. Ning Xinyue grabbed Su Jie's arm, her bright eyes fluttering, looking around sheepishly, whispering, Can't you hold on a bit longer? If you did, maybe I'd kiss you, dummy. I have a reputation too, you know? So, it's a success? Su Jie blinked, thinking smugly to himself that he could still handle her. Aha! Feeling a bit shy, Ning Xinyue lowered her head, her pretty face full of bashful red. Just this once, no more next time. After saying that, Ning Xinyue tiptoed and plucked up her courage to kiss Su Jie on the cheek. Just that one action made Ning Xinyue's face blush a deep red. Steam almost seemed to rise from her head. The moist touch on his cheek brought a smile to Su Jie's face. He reached out to ruffle the twin ponytails on Ning Xinyue's head and said with a laugh, That's just like you. I acknowledge this kiss of yours. It seems the bond between us is as strong as ever. Don't get too full of yourself. I don't need your acknowledgement. Ning Xinyue suddenly realized that she'd been tricked again. In her hurry earlier, she hadn't had time to discern the truth in Su Jie's words. Only now did she realize she'd fallen for Su Jie's trick, though she didn't really mind it, deep down. Haha, in light of our bond, I'll let you have a share of the treasures here. Su Jie laughed heartily, but his hands didn't slow down in gathering the treasures scattered on the battlefield. Leave some for me. Ning Xinyue hurriedly joined the scramble for the treasures. They were worth a lot. While Su Jie and Ning Xinyue were dividing the loot, The fierce wind roared from the sky, and then a figure descended from above. It was someone clad in golden battle armor, carrying a heavy sword. Her long hair was tied into a ponytail with a golden thread, her tall and proud figure, her sword-like eyebrows beneath which were a pair of dark, sharp eyes, bestowing her with a rarely seen martial air on her stunningly beautiful form. This person was none other than the eldest princess of the Delhi royal family, who had refused to stay in the imperial palace and came alone, Wei Yushuang. Upon landing, Wei Yushuang saw the battlefield littered with corpses, the dragon vein crack, and the ruined Grand Ancestors' mausoleum of Dragon Sleep Mountain. In the center of the battlefield, there was also the corpse of Wei Jun, and a man in front of the corpse, stripping the spirit treasure armor from Wei Jun's body. According to the royal family, Wei Jun was of the same generation as one of Wei Yushuang's great-grandfathers, who had taken care of her when she was young and taught her much about cultivation and techniques. Now, this purple mansion strongman of the Delhi royal family had fallen here. Wei Yushuang's hands clenched tight. Her gaze turned deadly serious as she drew the mystic dragon heavy sword from behind, charging at the man in front of the corpse of Wei Jun. She wanted to avenge Wei Jun. Clang! The piercing sound of metal clashing echoed across the battlefield. Su Jie remained calm, sidestepping the attack from behind, leaving Wei Yushuang's strike to fall short. Instead, he continued efficiently stripping the spirit treasure armor from Wei Jun's body and put it into his storage bag, completely ignoring Wei Yushuang as if she didn't exist. "It's you." At this point, Wei Yushuang finally saw Su Jie's face clearly. It was the mysterious man she'd seen at Xinghan restaurant. But no matter who he was, as the murderer of Wei Jun, she would not show mercy. "We meet again. A girl shouldn't be so rough, you know?" Su Jie smiled faintly as he greeted Wei Yushuang. He was aware of Wei Yushuang's identity as the eldest princess of the Delhi royal family and a purple mansion cultivator. But to Su Jie, it didn't mean much. "Bastard! You piece of scum from the exotic continent. How dare you desecrate the Grand Ancestors' mausoleum? I won't forgive you." Wei Yushuang glared angrily, knowing that Su Jie was difficult to provoke, at least of purple mansion cultivation. But since she appeared here, there was absolutely no reason to back down. Dragon-suppressing, heavenly net divine scripture. The absolute technique of the Delhi royal family was put to use. Wei Yushuang's whole aura surged. Her golden shock wave was akin to a scion transformation, her body bursting with a layer of golden flames. Even her hair dyed golden yellow, resembling pure gold, dazzling as it was. This cultivation technique, practiced with the dragon vein and imperial dynasty fortune, is the most domineering, especially when used by a prodigy like Wei Yushuang. Relying on the dragon-suppressing heavenly net divine scripture's dominance, along with the top-grade spirit treasure mystic dragon heavy sword in her hand, even a cultivator of purple mansion middle stage, Wei Yushuang feels capable of clashing. Eyes full of fury were fixed steadily on Su Jie. Wei Yushuang slightly bent her knees. In the next moment, the ground within a radius of a kilometer roared. The earth cracked into spiderweb-like crevices. Countless soil and rubble shook into the air. Wei Yushuang herself transformed into a streak of gold, charging straight at Su Jie, with the mystic dragon heavy sword in her hand cleaving the night, emitting waves of dragon roars, heading down towards Su Jie. Su Jie's footsteps shifted slightly, the mystic dragon heavy sword, this top-grade spirit treasure, narrowly missed, falling beside Su Jie, merely ruffling the corner of his robe. Wei Yushuang's eyes widened slightly, but the mystic dragon heavy sword in her hand paused not a bit. The golden sword chi like a twisting, roaring giant dragon, winding and roaring in the dark night, every move aiming at Su Jie. Facing such attacks, Su Jie walked leisurely, each time avoiding the seemingly indestructible traces of sword chi with minute differences. Wei Yushuang did not follow the flying sword technique, holding the mystic dragon heavy sword. She exhibited her sword skills with her own strength and spiritual power, her sword Dao domineering and formidable, like a fallen heavenly dragon, an azure dragon rising from the abyss. It's a grandiose, overwhelming power approach. Foreign evil cultivator. If you have the ability, face me directly. Wei Yushuang was infuriated by Su Jie's attitude. her anger utterly uncontrollable. Your swordsmanship is interesting. You've piqued my interest. I'll play along. Su Jie once again narrowly avoided the sword chi. The spreading sword chi cleaving a canyon of several thousand meters, terrifying beyond measure. With a flick of his toe, he casually picked up a broken sword from the ground. This broken sword was just an ordinary magic artifact. Moreover, it was fractured, covered with cracks. Sorry, this is already the weakest weapon on the battlefield. But against your challenge, I believe it suffices plenty. Su Jie wore a faint smile at the corner of his mouth, compared to the furiously enraged Wei Yushuang. His gaze remained calm with not a hint of emotional fluctuation. You have some limit when you look down on people. Witnessing this scene, Wei Yushuang exploded completely, swinging the mystic dragon heavy sword in her hand. Leaping high, her figure seemingly fused with the dragon shadow sword chi, fiercely slashing down toward Su Jie. Yet this charged strike landed in vain. Where the dragon shadow sword chi fell, Su Jie's figure was long gone. Where did he go? Just as Wei Yushuang pondered this, a sharp sword chi came from behind. Boom! Wei Yushuang hurriedly turned and set her sword, colliding with Su Jie's stabbing broken sword, producing a crisp clash sound. Impossible! Wei Yushuang saw the intact broken sword, covered with a layer of spiritual power, seemingly thin, yet infinitely heavy and condensed, actually withstanding the strike of the top-grade Spirit Treasure Mystic Dragon heavy sword. A magic artifact-level broken sword colliding with a Spirit Treasure Mystic Dragon heavy sword and remaining unscathed. Such a scene was beyond Wei Yushuang's comprehension. Not yet recovered, Su Jie stepped and disappeared, reappearing at Wei Yushuang's side, the broken sword taking a bizarre angle, piercing toward Wei Yushuang's heart. Wei Yushuang's expression changed slightly, wielding her sword to clash against the broken sword. But a bizarre scene unfolded, compared to Wei Yushuang's floundering defenses. Su Jie on the battlefield seemed walking leisurely, each time disappearing from Wei Yushuang's sight, appearing at an unperceivable position to Wei Yushuang. Damn it! What swordsmanship is this? Wei Yushuang grew increasingly struggled to fend off. Su Jie's seemingly effortlessly casual sword moves pressed her to the limit. She exerted her utmost but still couldn't see the end of Su Jie's prowess, a fathomless depth. Meanwhile, Ning Xinyue shaded her eyes. Watching Su Jie and Wei Yushuang's battle, she gained a more accurate understanding of Su Jie's strength. Humph, as expected from someone I've taken a liking to. Ning Xinyue's eyes sparkled with delight, as if she were the one toying with Wei Yushuang. As a man who has fought alongside Su Jie many times, Ning Xinyue knew that Su Jie's greatest strength was not his swordsmanship. At most, he just toyed around with a flying sword. His real prowess lay in his hand-to-hand combat skills. And now, Su Jie was suppressing Wei Yushuang, a Purple Mansion strongman, using only a rarely used sword technique. Didn't that prove just how powerful Su Jie truly was? Boom! Another collision occurred, and the broken sword in Su Jie's hand burst forth with dazzling divine light. Sword chi intertwined and intersected, directly blasting Wei Yushuang away. She flew back over a kilometer, shattering a forest, her feet deeply embedded in the ground, leaving a long, deep ditch. The immense force made her palms tremble, and her blood had already stained the sword's hilt red. What, is this all the strength you have? Then you're not qualified to challenge me, princess. From the front, Su Jie's teasing voice drifted over, bringing a trace of mockery, causing Wei Yushuang's mindset to become unbalanced once again. Calling her princess at this moment was just saying she had no strength and could only rely on her status to bluff people. A deep sense of humiliation caused Wei Yushuang to completely explode. Shut up, you foreign evil cultivator. Ha! Wei Yushuang bit down on her silver teeth. Knowing she was outmatched, she still drew her sword and charged, exploding with a round of scarlet golden light. Under the rampant sword chi, the sky dome saw 9 dragons dancing, with roaring that shook the earth. Your courage is commendable, but the gap between our strengths can't be bridged by courage alone. Su Jie smiled faintly, his broken sword casually blocking Wei Yushuang's full-force slash. Dragon Shadow Sword Chi sliced past Su Jie, cutting several thousand-meter peaks in half behind him. Yet such slashes only ruffled Su Jie's hair, leaving not even a single wound. Such a vast difference in strength made even Wei Yushuang's usually resolute mind fill with a tremendous sense of defeat. From childhood, she had been the jewel of the Dali royal family, praised for her talent and wit, hailed as the hope for the royal family's rise. She did not disappoint. From a young age, she showed impressive talent in cultivation, ascending to the Taoist platform swiftly, undefeated nationwide. Had it not been for Ning Yunying, she might have maintained her undefeated title in the Dali dynasty. Yet now, in front of Su Jie, her pride was shattered to pieces, utterly defeated. The so-called brightest jewel of the Dali dynasty, the pride of the royal family, seemed laughably fragile and insignificant in front of this mysterious man's absolute power. The flashy sword performance ends here. Next, Su Jie's finger brushed over the cold blade of the broken sword, and in the next moment, the sword reflected the moonlight, suddenly appearing before Wei Yushuang, slicing down. Wei Yushuang raised her mystic dragon-heavy sword with both hands to block in front of her. Yet she still couldn't withstand Su Jie's strength. Her entire body was forced to kneel on one knee, her arms trembling, as the mystic dragon-heavy sword was pushed inch by inch back toward her chest. Wei Yushuang's bones creaked under the immense pressure, and even though she used all her strength, Su Jie's mere one-handed pressure was unstoppable, causing her internal organs to suffer massive pressure, blood trickling from the corner of her mouth. 8 Desolate Dragon Elephant Skill. At this critical moment, a cold shout came from above. Immediately after, a graceful figure dove down from the sky, a foot kicking towards Su Jie, with divine power like the ancient dragon elephant from myth stomping down. Boom! When this foot landed, the raging shockwave crushed the earth into powder, forming a giant crater with a diameter of several kilometers. Su Jie appeared at the edge of the crater, stroking his chin, watching the center of the crater with interest. In the crater now, only 2 figures remained standing. One was Wei Yushuang, kneeling on one knee, and the other possessed long, slender legs, skin white as jade, glowing with a jade-like sheen, a waist so slender it was hard to describe its powerful beauty. That was the late-arriving Qin Yushang, the White Tiger Hall Master of the Heavenly Patrol Department. She arrived at the last moment, rescuing Wei Yushuang, the eldest princess. The sky started to pour rain without warning, lightning streaking across the night sky, illuminating the dark land below. Wei Yushuang appeared somewhat disheveled, her battle armor damaged from the battle, the webbing of her thumbs cracked, her damp single ponytail undone with her long hair clinging to the armor. Yet her pair of defiant tiger eyes remained fixed on Su Jie. Qin Yushang's face was grave. She was aware of Wei Yushuang's capability, yet this mysterious man before them was thoroughly dominating her, evidently an immensely powerful adversary. Who are you? Qin Yushang's cool voice pierced through the rain, reaching Su Jie's ears. The weak are not worthy to know my name. With a light chuckle, Su Jie twirled the broken sword in his hand, responding nonchalantly. Qin Yushang's face darkened, utterly arrogant. Su Jie seemed oblivious to the simmering fury in Qin Yushang's eyes, continuing, "The Heavenly Patrol Department is hailed as the Dali Dynasty's strongest organization. I wonder how much power the White Tiger Hall Master has at her disposal to afford me." Boom! Before Su Jie could finish his sentence, a wave of fist force surged like a nuclear blast, crashing towards Su Jie's face. Su Jie swung the broken sword in his hand, the sword chi clashing with the fist force, the rampant fluctuations of spiritual power ravaging everything within several kilometers like a mountain-crumbling sea surge. Satisfaction. Su Jie finished his words looking at Qin Yushang, brow furrowed, her fists flying forward. Years had passed. Su Jie also wanted to see how much the woman's prowess had improved. As you wish. Qin Yushang was not one to keep a good temper, her character upright yet unyielding. In face of such provocation from Su Jie, she exerted the 8 Desolate Dragon Elephant Palace to its fullest. This cultivation technique is of the body cultivation type. Reaching its zenith grants each movement the might of the ancient dragon elephant, paired with Qin Yushang's Taishu spirit body, allowing her to drive her strength to the utmost, dominating close-quarters combat against cultivators of the same level. Boom! 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 Qin Yushang's punches and kicks flipped through the air. Each attack transformed into a series of afterimages, every strike creating horrifying shock waves that rendered the earth truly fragmented, even shattering the clouds above, allowing the moonlight to cascade down. You've got some strength. Su Jie raised his eyebrows, facing Qin Yushang's storm-like fierce attacks with no trace of panic, his left hand tucked behind his back, relying solely on his right hand wielding the broken blade, consistently using sword chi to repel Qin Yushang, countering all her assaults. Qin Yushang grew more and more astonished as she fought. The man's relaxed posture before her was unnerving. She had deployed her full force, capable of smashing mountains, yet couldn't even graze Su Jie's sleeve. Ha! Just then, Wei Yushuang found the opportune moment behind Su Jie, fiercely wielding the mystic dragon heavy sword to strike. The sword chi roared like a celestial dragon. Clang! Without even turning his head, Su Jie's right hand reversed to angle the broken sword, narrowly intercepting Wei Yushuang's mystic dragon heavy sword. Wei Yushuang struck again as Qin Yushang launched her fist from the front. The two coordinated seamlessly, assaulting from both sides. Su Jie flipped backward, his body like a great rock, soaring above their heads. Wei Yushuang's heavy sword lifted upwards, cleaving the vast clouds. But Su Jie had already vanished, reappearing before the duo. We'll team up. Wei Yushuang took a deep breath, again that peculiar movement technique. All right. Qin Yushang nodded. Facing this foe, there's no chance of victory unless they join forces. Even teaming up won't give you a chance. Su Jie discerned Qin Yushang's thoughts, shaking his index finger at them, his attitude dismissive, enraging the two heavenly beauties. Attack! Wei Yushuang moved first, Qin Yushang followed suit closely. One wielded a sword, her swordsmanship exceptionally skilled, sword chi crisscrossing with strong momentum. The ground seemed fragile as tofu, left with deep gorges under the sword chi, altering the terrain entirely. Another possessed formidable martial prowess, resembling a humanoid dragon, each punch and kick capable of collapsing mountain peaks, power tremendously awe-inspiring. The two of them together could defeat even Purple Mansion middle-stage cultivators. Unfortunately, they faced Su Jie. Su Jie only needed one hand, wielding a broken sword to ward off all their attacks, occasionally retaliating with sword chi, making it exceedingly difficult for them to fend off. Whether hundreds or thousands of collisions transpired, the broken sword protected by spiritual power ultimately couldn't endure, reaching its limit. Crack! The broken sword's blade was covered in cracks, eventually shattering into fragments, scattering onto the ground. He's out of a sword. Wei Yushuang's eyes brightened. She had been fully suppressed by Su Jie's swordsmanship. Now seeing Su Jie unarmed, a perceived opportunity dawned upon her. She dashed forward, swinging a sword strike overhead to slice open the sky, not letting Su Jie exchange weapons. Wei Yushuang didn't know, though, Su Jie's mightiest assault was indeed his body technique. The mystic dragon heavy sword cleaved through the air, seemingly about to land on Su Jie's shoulder as he moved. Faster than ever, Wei Yushuang could barely capture Su Jie's figure. Su Jie's right hand stretched open, taking a leap forward. His large hand grasped Wei Yushuang's face directly. Bang! Wei Yushuang, uncontrollable, was slammed onto the ground heavily by Su Jie's hand. Then, like lifting a stalk of straw, Su Jie swung Wei Yushuang aside. The figure plunged like a cannonball, crashing into a mountain summit 10,000 meters away, the violent collision causing half of the peak to collapse, dust rolling. Wei Yushuang, buried beneath rocks, spat blood, her battle armor severely damaged, her bones and internal organs racking with agony. Who said being swordless means being defenseless? Su Jie clapped his hands, eyes full of mischievous expression. In the middle of their conversation, Su Jie continued to fend off Qin Yushang's punches and kicks. The more Qin Yushang fought, the more bitter she felt. With her 8 desolate dragon elephant skill cultivation, she thought even a purple mansion middle stage cultivator couldn't match her in pure strength. Yet Su Jie's actual power far exceeded hers. She felt like she was attacking not a mere body of flesh and blood, but a heaven-reaching divine mountain. Qin Yushang could even feel that fighting against him was like an adult playing with a child. Damn it! The more Qin Yushang thought about it, the angrier she got, landing another punch at Su Jie. Your strength is pretty good. You're the strongest woman I've ever seen. Su Jie praised her while gripping Qin Yushang's wrist. With a slight shake, he sent her flying. She retreated 1,000 meters before barely steadying her stance. During this clash, a strange thought suddenly popped into Qin Yushang's mind. Have we met before? Qin Yushang looked steadily at Su Jie and suddenly asked. Perhaps it was a woman's sixth sense. She always felt an inexplicable familiarity with Su Jie. Su Jie's figure flickered. He appeared in front of Qin Yushang, with a playful look in his eyes and whispered in her ear, saying something that made Qin Yushang infuriated. I'm forgetful. If you're not a strong person, you're not worthy of staying in my memory. Do you think you're worthy? This voice carried a hint of mockery, and with the hand wrapped around her waist, Qin Yushang's face turned dark instantly. Bastard! Let go of your claws. She elbowed Su Jie, but he firmly caught it. She kicked at him, but he grabbed her hip, controlling both her arms and legs, bringing their bodies close together in a very ambiguous posture. At this moment, the coldness in Qin Yushang's eyes was gone, replaced with blazing flames. Let me go, beg me. Su Jie, with a smile in his eyes, teased the Qin Yushang in his arms. You! Before Qin Yushang could respond, a golden light burst out from the collapsing mountain peak, as Wei Yushuang, holding a heavy sword, charged at them. Even at the cost of my life. Seeing Su Jie being indecent with Qin Yushang, Wei Yushuang went berserk, disregarding her injuries, forcing herself to fight Su Jie with her last breath. Su Jie's left hand held Qin Yushang, tightly binding her hands, while his right hand's 2 fingers pinched the mystic dragon heavy sword, preventing this top-grade spirit treasure from advancing an inch. Fingers! Wei Yushuang's expression was particularly incredulous, full of disbelief. A few days ago, I met someone else who used a sword. This trick works pretty well. Su Jie laughed wickedly, his gaze unabashedly scanning Wei Yushuang. This was because Wei Yushuang's battle armor was severely damaged, revealing the white and delicate skin inside. Her proud figure, combined with the damaged armor, inexplicably conveyed a sense of uniform temptation. Wei Yushuang followed Su Jie's gaze and saw her own exposed skin. Her face instantly turned red with anger. Shameless scoundrel! When had Wei Yushuang ever suffered such grievances, to be played with and teased to this extent? Just as Su Jie, Qin Yushang, and Wei Yushuang were fiercely battling, Ning Xinyue, witnessing this scene, was unhappy. Hey! Stop it, you guys, quit fighting already. In the pouring rain, Ning Xinyue cupped her hands around her mouth and shouted towards Su Jie's side. After all, in Ning Xinyue's eyes, the situation between the parties was less of a battle and more of Su Jie teasing 2 women, which made Ning Xinyue intensely jealous. Su Jie, you rascal! How long are you going to play for? She quickly ran to Su Jie's side, grabbing his arm. This bastard, who had just tricked her into a kiss moments ago, was now flirting with other women, truly detestable. Hiss, this is not my fault. They're the ones who came charging at me without saying a word. I couldn't possibly not fight back, right? Su Jie shrugged, indicating he was the victim here. Ning Xinyue rolled her eyes. Doesn't she know what kind of person Su Jie is? He's taking advantage and playing innocent. At this moment, Qin Yushang and Wei Yushuang were both shocked, having heard Ning Xinyue's words. Those words, Su Jie, kept flashing in their minds. Su Jie, the Blood Sea ancestor from Ghost Ridge Palace. Wei Yushuang's bright eyes were a bit stunned. Those words were all too familiar to her, as the Ghost Ridge Palace was the Delhi royal family's main nemesis, and she as the eldest princess, how could she not be aware? Su Jie. An even more surprised Qin Yushang looked at Su Jie, her eyes full of complexity. She finally understood why that sense of familiarity arose. The one she was battling was Su Jie, the notorious great demon she interacted with before. The last time they met was due to esoteric Buddhism, where she had accompanied Su Jie, witnessing his terrifying might. Back then, she was at the 7th realm of Taoist platform, and Su Jie already had mid-stage purple mansion cultivation, even managing to obliterate esoteric Buddhism in one go. Later, because of Su Jie's construction of a spectacle and the summons from the Heavenly Patrol Department, she returned to Delhi City. She hadn't expected to meet him again in such a situation. "Hi, long time no see." Seeing that he had been recognized, Su Jie no longer hid his identity, reverting to his true appearance. Seeing the demon head identical to the portraits, Wei Yushuang had no more doubts. "How long are you going to keep hugging? Let go." Qin Yushang was the first to react. Their ambiguous posture made her unable to resist a low exclamation, her ears turning red. "Next time, don't be so violent, throwing punches without considering your strength. It was lucky you ran into me. Otherwise, you'd be dead today." As Su Jie let go, he pinched Qin Yushang's cheek. "Humph!" A disgruntled hum came from behind, belonging to Ning Xinyue. Qin Yushang pushed Su Jie away, saying, "Why did you do it?" "What do you mean, why?" Su Jie blinked, then patted his forehead, suddenly realizing, "Oh, you wouldn't think I destroyed Dragon Sleep Mountain, would you? If not you, then who? You Ghost Ridge Palace are the greatest rebels in the Delhi dynasty. Haven't you long wanted to overthrow our Delhi dynasty, destroy Dragon Sleep Mountain to sever the dragon vein, leaving our Delhi dynasty without support, just to allow Ghost Ridge Palace to take over the world?" Wei Yushuang stepped forward, glaring at Su Jie. When she arrived at the battlefield, she already saw Su Jie scavenging bodies. Considering Su Jie's identity in the Ghost Ridge Palace, it didn't surprise her that he would do such a thing. Conversely, if it wasn't Su Jie, that would have been unexpected for Wei Yushuang. Yeah. Su Jie seemed to hear something utterly ridiculous, unable to hold back his wild laughter, and a powerful aura burst forth, causing Wei Yushuang's face to change drastically. At this moment, Su Jie was exponentially more terrifying than during their earlier battle. Merely the oppressive aura made her body go soft, nearly bringing her to her knees. It was a primal fear triggered by encountering an unbeatable existence. Every cell in Wei Yushuang's body screamed warnings, urging her to flee from Su Jie, to escape this predator-like existence, as that was her only chance of survival. Destroying a tomb? Severing the dragon vein? Causing the decline of the Delhi dynasty? Su Jie lowered his head, spitting out each word while glaring at Wei Yushuang, causing her guilt to swell under his gaze. "How laughable. You think to bring down your Delhi dynasty, I'd need to come to Dragon Sleep Mountain to sever the dragon vein? You hold yourselves in too high regard. Just your 3 melons and 2 dates of a royal family. Do you think you could stop me? Why go through so much trouble when I could simply flatten you directly? Destroying a tomb? Severing the dragon vein? Causing the decline of the Delhi dynasty?" Su Jie lowered his head, spitting out each word, fixing his gaze on Wei Yushuang, making her feel even more guilty. "How laughable. You think to bring down your Delhi dynasty, I'd need to come to Dragon Sleep Mountain to sever the dragon vein? You hold yourselves in too high regard. Just your 3 melons and 2 dates of a royal family. Do you think you could stop me? Why go through so much trouble when I could simply flatten you directly?" Wei Yushuang bit her lip, fists clenched, as Su Jie's words dealt her a heavy blow. Such face-to-face taunting was a first for Wei Yushuang, the eldest princess. "Calm down. The most important thing now is to find the true culprit who destroyed Dragon Sleep Mountain." Qin Yushang grabbed Wei Yushuang's arm, fearing she would impulsively confront Su Jie again, only to suffer further. Wei Yushuang took a deep breath, knowing that the current Su Jie was not someone she could deal with. He could even kill her. The true culprit who destroyed Dragon Sleep Mountain probably entered that underground dragon vein crack. The director went in first and should be tracking them. "We must catch up quickly." Pointing at the abyss-like dragon vein crack at the original site of Dragon Sleep Mountain, Qin Yushang pulled Wei Yushuang away, worried that if she stayed any longer, Wei Yushuang might provoke Su Jie again, with potentially fatal consequences. Su Jie first looted all the treasures on the battlefield, completing unfinished business, and then beckoned Ning Xinyue. Maid Ning, let's go in and take a look too. Yay, let's go, let's go. Ning Xinyue was even more excited than Su Jie, eagerly following his lead. Su Jie stood on the edge of a dragon vein crack hundreds of meters wide, where dense, golden light surged forth like stardust. This dragon vein power could not be utilized by ordinary people. It was more related to natural seasons and the destiny of the dynasty. The interference of this dragon vein power severely oppressed the divine sense, making accurate exploration impossible. Follow me closely. Su Jie took a step forward, his body descending into the depths of the crack. Ning Xinyue followed closely, her bright eyes curiously scanning the surroundings. Hey, Su Jie. Do you think Emperor Tianwu's corpse might turn into a zombie? If it does, we better run. I heard that the Dao treasure 10,000 Dragon Pearl is buried here too. If we could grab it, we'd be rich. It's even better than the 9-grade Sacred Lotus. What? I'm not scared. If my sister were here, no matter how strong the enemy, we'd flatten them. Of course, Su Jie, you're not bad either. Like a joyful lark, Ning Xinyue chirped around Su Jie, seemingly having a lot to say to him after not seeing each other for a long time. After a few steps, Su Jie caught up with Wei Yushuang and Qin Yushang. Wei Yushuang's expression was quite unpleasant. Being Dragon Sleep Mountain, representing the Grand Ancestor Emperor Tianwu's tomb, non-royals entering it was undoubtedly a desecration. In the past, she would have surely fought Su Jie to the death. But after the previous lesson, she understood she couldn't win against Su Jie, nor stop his actions. Let's see what's going on. It's Emperor Tianwu's tomb. The emperor's presence is grand, and there must be many treasures buried with him. If there are good things, let's play the tomb robber for a while. Ning Xinyue and Su Jie's conversation drifted over, making Wei Yushuang's face darken. This is the Grand Ancestor's mausoleum. What are you planning to do? This is desecration. Wei Yushuang barely restrained herself, but eventually, she couldn't help but speak out. Su Jie glanced at Wei Yushuang, indifferent, and said, Desecration? The fact that the Tianwu tomb wasn't well guarded is your royal family's responsibility. I bet if Emperor Tianwu resurrected and saw the chaos you'd brought to the Daily dynasty, he'd choose to strangle you unworthy descendants first. Ning Xinyue nodded repeatedly, chirping, Exactly. The treasure belongs to those with virtue. Since your royal family can't guard it, it's better entrusted to those who can better utilize it. Both of them, one a demon cultivator with no psychological burden on committing murder and plundering, and the other influenced by her company, also shared a flexible moral compass.
Su Jie to geter?
Having interacted more with Su Jie, Qin Yushang turned and waved to him. She didn't know who the enemy was, but given they could breach Dragon Sleep Mountain, quickly break the Great Taoist Formation, and defeat Wei Jun, it showed the formidable adversary infiltrating Dragon Sleep Mountain was not to be underestimated. At this moment, uniting with Su Jie seemed more prudent, as he wouldn't attack them directly. See, there are still sensible people. Su Jie chuckled, ignoring Wei Yushuang's unhappy gaze, and led Ning Xinyue deeper into the dragon vein crack. As they ventured further, the underground passage narrowed, and the emanating dragon vein strength became more intense, the golden light painting Su Jie and his group like golden statues. Whoosh! After about 10 minutes of walking, the sound of battle suddenly echoed from ahead, with energy waves pulling back and forth. Su Jie couldn't help but quicken his pace. Moments later, the passage brightened suddenly, and they found themselves in a wide underground space. In front of Su Jie was an underground cave, with countless purple crystal jades hanging from above, and at the center was an underground lake. But the lake didn't contain water. Instead, it was a mass of flowing cloud energy. The cloud was a bright gold, resembling golden cotton candy, faintly forming into a dragon shape and pure dragon vein power surged endlessly. This was the Dali Dragon Vein. The combatants included Li Daozhong leading aristocratic family experts and a team of exotic realm cultivators, all being Purple Mansion realm cultivators. Also present was the Soul, besieged Director Zhang Qingsong from the Heavenly Patrol Department, a late-stage Purple Mansion cultivator now heavily injured due to being surrounded by several Purple Mansion cultivators. Zhang Qingsong's strength was quite formidable, for despite being alone, he managed to entangle the attacks from several Purple Mansion cultivators with difficulty.